We have a bunch of bar partners and brewery partners and restaurant partners, and we call it our watering hole program, where they advertise with us. They have a bunch of Tom and Dan giveaveways.
I'm not going to lie to you.
koozies.
It's the easiest, most affordable. It's the introductory way. If you want to, like advertise with us, it's a great way to get your bar visible, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a fact. People go to this page to look for drink deals.
Yeah, send us an email if you are a potential watering hole that wants to advertise. The full transparency is $250 a month.
Just say it. Why not? Yeah, we'll just tell you what it is. It's easy, though, because we got a lot of guys. If you're craft beer guys, I mean, you're going to know most of these places. You go here to look for deals. Like we got Dade City Brew House, Hourglass Brewing, The Commission Beer Changer, Bug Nutty Brewing Company, Cafe Da Vinci, West End Trading Company, Johnny's Other Side, Celery City Craft, Brew Tap House, Stuffed, Buster's Bistro, Cigar City Brewing, Tactical Hat. He's one of our listeners. He's even a watering hole. Mets Lounge 1, Mets Lounge 2, Tuffy's Bottle Shop and Lounge in Sanford, The Slide Inn. Don't sleep on that bar. That's a fun little bar.
Tiffany's Sister's Bar.
And Fody's Tavern, which is a brand new one that's on there.
Yeah, so all those watering holes are listed on TomandDanWateringHoles.com. If you go to TomandDan.com, oh, God.
Dog-gob. If you go
I'm doing so good. I was out there.
This is the first one in the morning, too. Like, we've cut the full transparency, and we've said that like 9 times today, which means we're lying to you. But we have done this all morning and not flubbed one time. And that's the first time we've flubbed.
Go. It's TomandDanWateringHoles.com. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've got our buddy Joey Mazant here. How you doing, Joey?
Really good. Thanks for having me back.
We appreciate it, man. Especially when he comes in the door with gifts. A lot of our listeners, Jesus, a lot of our guests when they come to the studio, they bring us stuff.
I like
Crespo does that.
And he's wearing your merch. Look
Crespo does that. Joey Mazant does that. Who else does that? You know who doesn't do it? And it makes me hate him is John Bustecker. Doesn't do it.
He tries to bring us his book of 100 things to do in
But
Orlando.
nobody. The reason he brings
I already have one, John.
The reason he brings us those is because he ordered too many of those. He was really. He was thinking he mismanaged a bet. He had a bet in his own mind. He's like, you know what I think Floridians like? Books.
That was a first mistake.
That's your first mistake. Because you're a nerd, John, and because you're intelligent doesn't necessarily mean that everybody else around you wants to be that guy.
Yeah. Also, it's like, you know what else tells me what to do in Orlando or anywhere?
Don't say it. Don't say
the
it.
Internet. And it has up-to-dates, like literally today. Different thing.
Well, his version, to its credit, says that he did update it 2 years ago. So there are footnotes on there.
So it's only 2.5 years old.
Delineating when he went in and altered. His book is like the slowest Wikipedia of what to do in Orlando.
And then 5 years he'll alter that.
You know, this is why we don't have friends, too.
Yes,
this is why. And this is probably why he doesn't bring gifts. Hey, Joey's here, everybody.
It's funny you say that about books because one of the jokes that I tell the kids that I'm hanging out with is we talk about Harry Potter because we're at Universal Studios and they go, I read all the Harry Potter books. And I go, no S. They made books out of those movies? And the kids get pissed at me.
Oh, I like that.
I thought I'm like, that's funny. And they're like, they get mad. I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't know you took pride in reading. God.
That's a dad joke, Joey.
Well, a true dad joke would be to weave in some politicalness with JK's, transgender, where she lies on that. You sprinkle a little of that in there.
So
penis disapicero or something, like you say some like crazy chant.
It's the holiday season, and that means all the parks are holidayed out. When do they start that, by the way?
November 1st.
Bingo.
The
day after Halloween.
Yep.
They got the midnight crew that comes in at 11 p.m. that night, and you can't find pumpkins and Halloween anywhere in the park, and all of a sudden, bam, Christmas tree.
That's pretty cool.
Do they do it all in one night?
They do inside of about 5 hours. It's pretty rad.
Well, that's crazy.
That's what kids say about Santa, too. Does he do it all in one night? You had the whimsy in your eyes for a split second. I saw a young Tom Van.
So what park is considered the most...
Christmassy?
Christmassy out of all of them.
That is a solid question that I know Joey knows the answer to, but I'd like to kick it around first.
Please.
Sam, What say you? You're a Disney gal.
I would have said before it would have been Hollywood Studios because they had the Osborne family lights and they would do the snow foam parties and stuff. But they don't do that anymore.
They don't do that anymore.
So now I would say Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, I was going to go Magic Kingdom as well. What's the real answer, Joey?
It depends on what you're into. I think you nailed it because Magic Kingdom is almost synonymous. That's where the parade is. That's where they do the big tree, the 80-foot Christmas tree. It's all there. But let's not forget, Universal Studios has one thing that Disney does, and that's the Grinch. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. It's not the Grinch Who Stole Valentine's Day. It's not the Grinch Who Stole Hanukkah. It's the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. It's in the title.
I wish the Grinch would steal Valentine's Day.
Yeah, right.
Totally be okay with that.
Take it. Give me Halloween.
The Grinch at Universal is great, too.
I never
He's really
thought...
funny.
Okay, I'm Joey, you know what? I'm glad that... Because we're Disney heavy on this show. And I think that for the most part, even Tom... We tip our hat and say Disney is the theme park. Universal is its... We've always been a little... but... They do crush it. Grinch is so good. He's so funny. And if they get the right actor in there, like I know one in particular, I'm not going to tear down the third wall, but the dude, his improv and the way he riffs and his jokes are so good that it's worth going and visiting the Grinch just to be insulted. Just to have him like...
He roasts you.
Yeah, I loved it. When it happened, I was like, why haven't I ever done the Grinch before? This is so cool.
So, sorry, Joe, I got to talk to my business partner for a second.
Of course.
So, have you seen this particular video? And they don't make them that, it's not that popular.
Are you talking about Squirt Game?
No, we didn't talk about that. Well, we'll talk about that later.
They got a Squid Game porno called Squirt Game.
Did you see it?
Yes. Are you crazy? It's the first thing I did when you told me about it. Because first of all, I was mad that you brought it to my attention. I'm like, how am I
You're losing your edge.
I am losing my edge. How am I this far behind? And then I watched it. It's 4 parts. It's 4 parts. You got to find all 4 parts.
They do the cookie.
Yeah, I had to do X videos, XNXX, and then the other one I had to go to RedTube.
So I'm talking about the parody, they put money into, or they have makeup, and they have a Grinch one. Have you seen
porno?
That one? Yeah,
how did I know you were doing Grinch porno? I knew it. That's why I mentioned Squirt Game. We should start a company.
And it's like they have the prosthetics on, and the guy.
But are they good? Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. It's good prosthetics.
They put a couple thousand.
Cindy Lou Who. Is she old enough now?
My one.
I don't know.
Yeah, and there's like a mom.
This
and
is the
a dad.
time when I tell everyone, remind you that all the actresses and actors in this video are in their 30s. And they're addicted to cocaine.
You didn't have to say that, Grinch. Also, you spend a lot of
at the beginning of every video.
Here's what I don't like about it. You spend all the money on the prosthetics and then like a real Christmas tree and the whole thing.
You got the swirly candy cans where every tree is like a baobab tree. You know, like a weird baobab.
The Grinch's makeup, his green paint that he put on.
He paints his thighs too, which is weird. You're painting your thighs.
It comes off on Cindy Lou.
Yeah, it can't come off.
And then I'm like,
my Grinch is coming off.
Anyway, sorry, Joe. Back to holidays. So
great segue.
The Magic Kingdom.
I met your wife, and now I'm embarrassed. I talked to you.
That was a private conversation. Nobody should have listened to. So
put it in your text messages next time.
I can't stop.
So. Magic Kingdom. That's the most Christmassy. What about Epcot? I feel like
Epcot is my favorite park, my friend. I actually wrote our company's training manual for Epcot. It's the most boring park in the world until you're 21 years old, and then you want your GD ashes spread there. It's so much fun.
I like the aspect of different... I don't know if they're still doing this, but they did different holiday traditions from across the world. So when you're walking around... there are interesting things still. It is a more adult park. Like, you can get some knowledge there, walk around, read about something, watch some lady playing a drum you never knew.
If your kids are into, being educated, it's actually good for kids. But most kids just want to ride rides, right?
Yeah.
So it's not for kids in that aspect.
It's kind of a bait and switch, I feel, for kids, because you're telling them that you're taking them to a theme park.
Right.
But Epcot has 4 rides? 5?
It's got 2 rides that people want to do.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, see, Joey's blatantly honest. He's going to tell you.
Test track.
Some of the ones at Epcot, they're rides, but they ain't good rides.
The Mars ride nobody wants to do.
No, we call that the Vomitron 3000.
A surprisingly good ride that my daughter likes, it's hit or miss though because every kid's different, is living in the land.
Living with the Land.
Living with the Land.
Yeah, I love that one too.
Yeah,
Most kids don't.
I love that one.
They
Maisie
got the new
loves
Ratatouille
it.
ride though, and they're gonna have
Haven't
Guardians
been
of the
on that.
Galaxy soon.
Haven't been on that.
I'll be blatantly honest with
Living
you.
on the Land. Tom would love Living on the Land. It's basically
Oh, it's all plants.
no, it's his two loves. They put you in a boat, and then they just push you into a hydroponic
true.
garden. That's it. Just boats and hydroponics.
But if you want to take a step up from there, they do the behind the seeds tour, and they actually let you walk back there and touch everything and mess with things.
I would like to do that.
I'd take you, bro. So it's cheap. I'll take you.
Didn't recently some drunk co-ed jumped off the boat and then tried to steal
A pumpkin that was shaped like a square because they grew it in a box or something. You know,
a square pumpkin.
Don't steal my box pumpkin.
If you do that, you instantly get trespassed.
Banned for life.
and
I
banned for life,
hate
right?
that. There's nothing. I think it's so disrespectful, man. Like I don't know why that's a pet peeve for me. But like when you're at something and then you think you're like I
people
am
spend
so
a lot of money
important.
to be there, so you're ruining other people's time.
Correct.
And you're acting like a jackass, and like it's people's family vacation that is a once in a lifetime. There's a lot of things that you're being a narcissist about. Like I'm gonna steal
so selfish. Yeah, because
this eggplant.
You're right. There are a lot of families that we don't even think. We live around here, right? And we never think about the Midwest family where the dad is literally working 3 jobs, saving his ass off to get the plane tickets and everything to come to this destination, right?
Yeah.
We don't think about that. I mean, we're over there, I'm going living on the land. I'm going to barf in the water. Come on.
Although, on the other side of things, you got to see it, and it became internet famous. So it's like, at least you were there. I mean, it was that or vegetables.
I like your positivity. I like your positivity.
She didn't acting like an idiot, ran out, steal the eggplant, run back,
Nobody does the things that they
pooping everywhere.
Nobody does the thing that everything's too extreme these days. Back in the day, my dad would come back and he'd be like, "You'll never guess, we went to the wrestling match. Dusty Rhodes was about to slam Kevin Sullivan and a lady pulled her boobies out." And I'd be like, as a kid, I'd be like, "What? A lady pulled her boobies out? Are you insane, Dad? That's crazy." He's like, "You couldn't have seen it." It was like, this is obviously a private conversation. He would have texted this to me if he could have. But he didn't. And but like now though, it's like, did you hear? I was on Living the Land, and a lady got completely naked, and then started throwing her tampons at people. Like it's always 100 steps too far. What happened to just the innocent? They mooned him. A boobie fell out,
and then it becomes the Living with the Land challenge, and now it's on TikTok, and everybody's doing it. And then it's like,
or like, hey, I took a picture with Tigger, and he made a white power sign with his paw. I'm like, oh my god! Like, why can't we just have the boobies come out again? Like,
right?
Take me back.
So, Joey, what are some Easter eggs, like holiday stuff that they offer at the parks that are not so popular? Like everybody knows.
A selfless question, Tom Van, because I know you care so very little for that.
I was actually going to applaud you. That was really nice
right?
of you.
How nice is this guy?
Because you used to be able to walk. You said the holiday lights.
Osborne.
Mm-hmm. Like, do they have?
But it was Ozzy Osbourne. You walk real slow.
I thought that for the longest time because I heard they had Trans-Siberian Orchestra, so I was like, is Crazy Train going to start? This is awesome.
It'd be so much better if it did.
It smells like 1,000 pee-pee dogs in the streets.
What did I say about the pee-pee dog jokes lately? Oh man, Caesar is bad, dude. Oh my god, every morning he greets us with a new pile of barf.
Also,
Poor thing.
Can anybody believe Ozzy Osbourne is still alive?
That's crazy.
No. And not only is he still alive, there are points in Ozzy's life where he looks like he's about to die. It's kind of like The Amazing Jonathan. Ozzy Osbourne 5 years ago looked like he was going to die. If you look at him now, he looks like he just came out of a youth chamber. I'm like, what happened to you?
Oh, he's doing some crazy European stem cells. Something.
Is there a chance that vampirism is real and he is in fact Nosferatu?
Possible.
I'm just going to throw that out there. Have you ever seen Ozzy and a vampire in the room at the same time?
No, I haven't. And he does those. He does all these. Like he's still working. He does that show with his son.
That's right.
Where they're doing like adventures, which is like your dream. And I feel like it would be very similar. Like you as Ozzy, and then Tommy and Max, you join forces.
Listen, I would love to do adventures with my son.
I know you would.
But you have to know that they're all laughing at you. They're all going to laugh at you.
The sons, or you mean everyone?
No, Ozzy Osbourne. They're laughing. Like you're presenting. Yeah. Like are you even a good son? Because like I would argue that if my son's like got me on television by the time full CTE is kicked in, and then the whole world is laughing at how.
But I think he's better now, right? He's
not better. Like I mean, maybe he didn't
when was
change.
the Osbournes on TV? It's like 15 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the 90s. It was like
2002.
Yeah, early 2000s.
I mean, nearly 20 years ago.
Yes.
I mean, so, like, how...
And
I mean,
was rough then. I remember watching...
Yeah, he can't get better.
I remember watching episodes of that. There's one in particular where he's, like, shuffling over to put something in the garbage disposal. I remember watching it, and I'm like, yeah, I'll be dead soon. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It was 20 years ago I did that.
I can't believe he's still alive. Anyway, so is there any Easter eggs, Joey?
It's all snacky snacks. It's all junk food.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. Disney knows where the markup is. The markup is food and alcohol. We talked about this last month. Disney has these desserts that you can only get now, and all they've done, I'm not trying to throw shade, I'm just being honest. It's a cookie, but instead of there being like a picture of Tigger on it, now it's a picture of a Christmas tree. But it's the unique Christmas dessert, 20% markup.
Gotcha.
Brilliant.
So
I'm okay with that. Yeah, because I know that one. Yeah, like I'm okay. And plus their food, especially the sweets, have a tendency to be really good.
Yep.
Like I've had some really nice treats.
The new big trending one is they call it the hot chocolate bomb.
Yes.
Where they take the casing of chocolate and they fill it with all kinds of good stuff, and you put it in your hot chocolate and it melts and all the insides fall out, and it's pretty cool. I got this for my nephew. He loves those.
Have you seen that? That's the new, it's almost like a bath bomb for hot milk. So it's like a chocolate ball, and then you warm milk in the microwave.
And you
Well,
dump-
you should
okay.
do it on the stove. If like, don't do it in the microwave. You're an animal if you do that. You do it on the stove, and then you pour the milk, and then you lay and then it gently melts, and it's almost like you watch it.
Okay,
I know
yeah,
that
yeah.
now. I would pay
yeah.
$500 for you to be in a Christmas sweater and have it professionally shot on like a digital SLR with Christmas music, kind of like the Kevin Spacey videos he was doing, where he's like
God.
when he was crazy and he was still stuffing the turkey and he's acting like the guy from what is it, House of Cards?
House of Cards, yeah.
He's like, hello there, you caught me stuffing a turkey. Now I know what you're thinking.
I'll do that, man.
I molest young boys, but right? Isn't that that's kind of thing?
I know
So,
all
like,
the evidence
yeah.
points to that direction.
and I know what you want. You need me. You need me out there as an actor molesting boys. What? What are you talking about?
Small price to pay. I was like, all right,
Somebody's gotta be
Spacey.
the
Is that a small price to pay for good entertainment or me acting like a southern conservative president?
Bold
Whatever.
move,
He's
Spacey.
basically stealing my dad's act, right?
I like this. It's a small price to pay molestation to see me act.
He never said that.
Yeah.
We're just making that
He
up.
insinuated it.
That being said, it was sponsored by Bill Cosby.
I would love to see you do that. I would love to see you put a chocolate bomb in your hot milk, and you're sitting there, you got the tall neck sweater on, like a turtleneck.
You guys are presenting me like a true curmudgeon,
You're a Grinch.
old Grinch that doesn't like nothing, and that's not true. I'm kind of indifferent, but I was like, oh, there it is. It's good. It's fine.
So if you and your wife and your two loving sons, Tommy and Max, all sat down, I can guess which person isn't going to say that the hot cocoa bomb is amazing. I can see your wife. I get, oh, hey, Tommy, Max, look at yours. I can already see him.
Yeah.
And they're like, whoa, yeah. And then Tommy's, because he's a little more higher pitched. And you, just sitting there, mad at it.
No, I have
Mad at it.
they're selfish. They just care about their own.
Well, of
hot
course,
milk.
they're 6 and 5.
They're like, what does that think? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I don't have to think anything. I just like, all right. I don't,
That's your
I
answer
don't-
to them? They're like, what do you think, Dad? And you're like,
They don't even ask me. They don't care. They just want their own stuff. Anyway.
You got a killer poker face. You're just going to sit there and be like, it's good.
So, Joe, is there any, okay, let's say you're poor, right? And
Sure,
you
why
can't
not?
afford to get into the parks because they're too damn expensive. Like, to take your family to the parks, like, what is that? If you're a Florida resident, to take you, your wife, and 2 kids, what's a...
Just for tickets and parking?
That's about $600 just for
Okay.
tickets and
no
parking.
food and drinks?
No, like
Or-
food, drinks,
get
inside
outta
the
here.
park. What are we talking
You're
about?
between $800 and $1,000
Okay,
a day.
so $800, $1,000 for one day is probably a step too much for a lot of people, including myself. Like, if I spent that, I would be very mad.
That's a
And-
once in a lifetime thing, I think, for most people.
Yeah.
You know, it's like going to Europe.
Well-
I think you put it in the same category, and I know people are laughing at that.
I'd be mad at my sons
true.
for
But
not
it-
enjoying it enough
Yeah.
because I know I predict they wouldn't enjoy it.
Isn't
for
that part of the
enough.
problem, right? Like nowadays, man, I've never thought about that. You're bringing up something super
Yeah.
interesting. If I didn't live in Orlando, like I think Maisie and even the boys, even though I know Maisie's been more, I think they can appreciate it more just because it's here. So there's almost like an appreciation for it just being in your town. Like, it's there. It's like, but I think if I went from the Midwest and flew here and I was the dad that saved up,
Oh, then you got plane
I
tickets
don't know.
and hotels.
I don't know if it
$5,000.
would, well, I don't know if it would be possible for my family to like it as much as, you know what I mean? I'm going to do what
Yeah.
you and I always do with our kids, where we're going to set our expectations paramount, top of the heap, right? You're guaranteed to be let down, always, right? Because what you're setting is unattainable.
I would tell my sons if I live in the Midwest and we were looking at a Disney vacation, right? I'd be like, all right, it's $5,000. I would do the same thing
That's
if I
a
was
cheap one, I think.
the
too.
father
5K?
of a bride or whatever. I would give them the option, like, do you want to spend $10,000 or $20,000 in your wedding, or do you want me to just give you the cash, or give you $5,000? I'll give you $15,000 cash and then instead of spending all this money on the wedding, I'd present the same thing to my kids. I'd be like, do you want to spend $5,000 on going to Disney, or I'll give you $1,000 each cash, and you could buy whatever, imagine how many toys you could buy for $1,000. It just, kids can't do the math and understand that the $1,000 in toys is going to be way better than the $5,000 trip.
We had that conversation when I was a kid. I can remember being about 10 years old. Little sister 8, little brother 6. And my old man does this is the 90s, mine was early 90s. I'll tell you what, we can go to Florida, we can go to Disney, or I can build you a tree house. And I was like, tree house. And they're like, we're going to go to Disney. I'm like, guys, listen. Trip to Disney or a treehouse. Treehouse forever. Treehouse is going to set us back. And I'm like doing the math. I'm writing it down on paper. I'm like, check this out. This is how much the treehouse costs. Let's talk to them, see if we can give us $100 each. I can go buy a Super Nintendo. You can buy what you want. I was like negotiating the deal on behalf of my brother and sister. And they're just like, we just want to go to Disney. I'm like, listen, you're not doing the math.
It's impulsive.
You're losing my mind.
Yeah. My mom and her sister, my mom, when they would get their allowance, which was very little, my mom would save her allowance, right? Because she would save up for things. But her sister, who's a lot like me, they'd give her the money. Instantly, she'd blow it on something. Instantly. It never saved anything. That's very much right. Like, digital plane. And so it's funny to see that. But yeah, man, I wish I had saved.
So back to being poor. So say you're poor, you can't afford the parks, but you want to give your kids a taste of what, like the Disney lights, you want to see some light up Mickey or something. Like, I imagine downtown Disney is the only place you can go. Obviously, parking. Okay, you're shaking your head.
You got the right idea. You're not wrong. But what you do, I was going to ask you, how poor are we going? Are we talking like ramen noodles 4 times a week poor?
Well, let's go
disheveled and dirt on the face poor. Like,
that's too poor. You can't even drive there.
Let's go classic Dickens orphan poor.
All right.
Like, please, sir, these vehicles driving around me don't have horses. These are strange carriages.
Let's just say you want to spend $250 for the family instead of $800 or whatever. Like, you could okay, I can.
Cheapskate. What'd you lose at the track? What'd you lose at the track again, you deadbeat?
What you could do, the best thing, this is what I used to do back in the day. When I moved here 18, 19 years ago, you park at Disney Springs, downtown Disney Springs now, and you hop on the bus over to the Grand Floridian, and you take your nephews, nieces, kids, whoever it is, to go see all the cool gingerbread things that they make. They make that gorgeous gingerbread house at the Grand Floridian where they sell hot chocolate and gingerbread out of it. It's very Christmassy. The 80-foot tree is in there. Get your picture taken. That's literally free.
Also, Disney Springs has a trail of Christmas trees that are all different themed out, and that's all free, too.
My only beef with that is I don't
Parking's
like crowds.
free.
I don't like crowds.
But only American Indians can walk the Trail of Trees. That's true. But they have to be fake Florida, like white trash Indians.
I love you guys.
I don't know why. I don't know why anybody loves us.
So does every particular park have some sort of holiday specific thing that they only roll out for holiday season?
Absolutely. Yes,
okay.
Sir. And the hotels are the same. All of the hotels, they all have those gorgeous 80-foot tall Christmas trees. At the boardwalk, they have the carousel made of gingerbread that you can go, and it's cool to see. And if you're just looking to walk and talk and take pictures, I recommend doing the boardwalk resort, because you got the boardwalk, the Swan Dolphin Yacht Beach, and over at the Grand Floridian, you got the Grand Floridian, the Polynesian, and the Contemporary. So there's cool little ways. If you're just looking to kill a couple hours with your kids and do something Christmas-ish, it's a great option, and it's literally free. It costs
Andrea
you nothing.
did it with May. She took her out there to see the big gingerbread house.
Yeah.
Super cool. And then they got to ride the monorail, I think, a little bit, and just kind of, mess around out there. But yeah, it's good.
And you can get a drink at each bar, at each location. So you get a bar, your kid gets a beer, your kid gets a hot chocolate. It's a cool afternoon.
Do they have any like Santas that come out, or is that too Christmas specific?
They got Black Santa now at Magic Kingdom.
They do, and he's gorgeous. I don't know if you've seen that guy, but holy moly, I'm glad that not that Disney wouldn't big up it.
But he looks like George Clinton. Like, he's rad looking. Dude. He's so
like
cool looking.
Really good. It's a very. I'm a big fan of a
funkadelic Santa.
No, he's
Not
just
that
a beautiful
far,
Santa.
like
I like it when Santas don't. Like, I hate a skinny Santa. I hate a fake beard redneck Santa. I'm Santa Claus. No, I don't like any of that. I just feel like we got too crazy with the Santa. When it was Santas everywhere, too many Santas. I feel like there should be like almost like you got to get certified. You got to look good. You got to do the voice. The guy that they had at Baldwin, he did I'm big on you got to do the whole thing. So if you're out there, you can't just be like, you can't look like a beautiful Santa Claus and then have a kid come up and you're like, hey, how you doing? You can't do that. You can't do that. This Santa, he was like, oh, thank you for allowing me to light the tree in Baldwin Park. He did like the whole thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's the way you're supposed to be.
Well, did you know that Santa always looked kind of like a homeless guy until Coca-Cola got their hands on him? He didn't have a red suit until like somewhere between the 38 and 52. They gave Santa the red suit.
And cleaned him up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, everything we see is now influenced by some marketing campaign that we just, then we're like, that's what Santa looks like. So Coca-Cola made it up. It was like, oh, it ruins it, right? It was like,
well, then you get weird Santas, though. You get like weird Pope Santa where you get like extra religion. Then you got you got like a vagabond traveling, like Kung Fu Santa.
But you want to talk about changing the Santas back on the theme parks at Epcot? I guess they're not doing it this year. They used to have the Santa from each country. But what you got to remember is America's the only country that's super like protected and we're careful. Krampus. They're like, oh, this is Krampus. He brings you presents. Like, Krampus used to snag kids in the middle of the night. You go to Italy, La Bufana. Like, oh, La Bufana brings presents to kids. No, she didn't. She used to kidnap children who were horrible.
Who's La Bufana?
The Italian Santa. The Italian female Santa.
There was
hey, it's me, Italian Santa.
We've made our kids soft. We're like, the worst that could happen to you, lump of coal. It's like, that's the worst.
Of coal. Why did he even go to the trouble?
But if it's kidnapped and
he's trying to teach me a lesson.
Boil you in a stew, like, that's way more scary. I feel like you would, be better if you could be boiled in a stew.
Yeah, right? Krampus is fairly new that everybody's like, we needed something edgier, right?
Yeah.
We're like, Santa's, this isn't edgy. We need an edgy character.
Yeah. Well, that's just us borrowing from what's been in Europe for, whatever many years.
I mean, Europe's filled with dark tales.
Yeah. So anything else that people should know about, tips, tricks for the holidays at the parks?
As is tradition, get there early.
Yeah.
I always tell the families, you let me pick when we start the day, I'll let you pick when we end, because nothing good happens after 3 p.m. at a theme park. That's the big one. Of course, the marquee rides are a big deal. When you go to the park, if you have to purchase it separately to ride it, here's your idea. Just start there. And aside from that, if you're doing it for Christmas, it's a different world than if you're doing it for what we normally know. So if you're doing it for Christmas, you got to get there early to get your picture in front of the tree. If you want to meet Santa Claus at Epcot, he's in America. And that's, again, they did a great job. They gave him the thing, but it's socially distant Santa. So don't get your kids excited about sitting on his lap. It's still,
gotcha. Yeah.
So plan your day accordingly. And as always, reach out to me if you have any questions.
Perfect. Joey, thanks so much.
Yeah, man.
We want to end with a parlay here.
Right.
Which, let's talk a little bit about gambling.
He's warming up his phone over there.
Yep.
So, in last night's Bills-Patriots game, and that crazy wind, and this is just like gambling insider stuff, but the in-game betting, it presented a crazy anomaly that rarely happens, where because all the in-game betting that you do is like a computer algorithm does it, right?
Sure.
But the algorithm could not keep up with the fact that the wind was blowing only in one direction. So literally, you could have a gigantic edge just betting in-game against the team that was playing against the wind because they couldn't do anything.
Right.
The wind was it was a gust of 50 miles an hour, so you couldn't kick a field goal, you couldn't pass into the wind. Now, if you were playing with the wind, then you could bet heavy on that team in game because they could pass, they could actually play football, and it was interesting that
were both quarterbacks having a time I didn't watch.
100%. And by the way, if the best argument for anything like, let's say, the NFL tweaking things to make what they want happen, if the New England Patriots and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play in the Super Bowl, I am going to be severely suspicious that some sort of tweaking isn't going on throughout the season, because that would be an insane entertainment.
It would be the biggest one
Super Bowl.
Ever.
Yeah, Bill Belichick versus Tom Brady. But it is almost playing itself out
It
as
is.
we watch it, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Bucks are playing now for what? Home in the playoffs.
Yeah. New England's
That's really all they got to button up.
number one in their division.
Yep, New England's doing just fine after righting the ship.
And there's no way. I mean, like the last night's game played well for New England, and
Bad for my Bills fans. Were like I saw. I didn't realize I had that many Bills fans in my life. Like I just saw people coming out of the woodwork.
If there wasn't that extreme weather, I would say Bills win that game. But that extreme weather played right into Belichick's hand, and he lucked out by playing the Bills in a GD crazy sleet hurricane. It's crazy. Yeah. It's like man, he got luck to play the Bills at that time. And anyway,
it's to the point where I take families on tour and they say they're from. Excuse me, when they say they're from Buffalo, normally if a family's like, oh, we're from Pittsburgh, we go, oh, you like the Steelers? You know, oh, we're from California, oh, you like the Raiders? And when people are from Buffalo, we go, oh, I'm a big Goo Goo Dolls fan too.
You just switch it up. Yeah,
I can't even talk about the Bills.
So what do we got, Joey?
So what we got is, I'll spare you the mess last week. God, I had everything spelled out perfectly, man. I was supposed to turn $50 into $850, but I got greedy. I should have pulled out in the third quarter with the Steelers. But anyway, what I like this week is we got the Falcons versus the Panthers.
Okay.
Now, this is huge because the over and the under is 43.5.
Okay.
So I'm taking the under because the Falcons on Halloween, they played the Panthers 19-13. The Falcons have never won a game by more than 3 points, except for one game where they beat it by 7. Whereas the Panthers have a 48-point spread from win to loss ratio. What I like on this one is I'm taking the Falcons because I think they got this. Because right now you got two teams that are 5-7, and the spread is only 3 points.
Yep.
So you're basically like, what do I always tell you? If you give me a coin flip with odds, I'll take it for $1 million all damn day. So what I like is I'm taking the Falcons, I'm taking the under, because both of these teams have been overpromising and underproducing. So the Falcons with the under, 43.5, throw like $100 on it, and then just in case it falters, I'm going to probably put $150 on the coin flip just so that I call tails never fails.
Now, just to be specific, is the Falcons money line in the under or Falcons
plus 110?
Okay.
Yep.
So Falcons money line and the under 43.5 same game parlay.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it's not going to be a big hit, but I figure I'll throw $100 on it. I'll make $380 or something stupid like that.
I like that. I'll bet on that. Joey, thanks so much for coming by.
Always a pleasure having you drop by.
Thank you so much.
We'll take a quick break and come back with more Corporate Time. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha is here. Are we officially in the holiday spirit here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, kind of, right? We all have Christmas lights up. Well, Sam doesn't. Do you have your lights up?
Oh, well, I don't have on the outside, no.
But you have all
decorated on the inside.
Yeah. That's all
on the inside.
That's all that matters. It's all Christmas on the inside, Sam. That's what my dad used to say.
Yeah.
I know our guest is laughing. You want to say, is he laughing? Are you laughing?
Yeah, I guess you have to have kids and like that sort of thing to have lights. I have my Halloween lights up still.
Well, that's just trashy.
Yeah.
And you live in a rich neighborhood. I'm sure your neighbors are like, oh, God, why do you have to beat Kimbo?
Not on the outside, on like my back patio area. It's just purple lighting, and I like the purple lighting, so I left the purple lights because it looks cool.
I do like you know what? I'm going to go with Seth and agree and say that I, too, like Halloween lights. I've been converted. Normally, I would make fun of Halloween lights, but I saw some of my neighbors had this purple and the orange lights, and I really like them. I thought they looked great.
We're going to get to a time where
everything's got lights.
Well, they're going to be like this. Like the standard is you're going to have some LED strip installed into your roof line and around your windows or whatever, and you could just...
I'm anti-LEDs, though. I'm incandescent only.
Well, what I'm saying is that you can, on your cell phone, just change the lighting to your house, whatever color you want to celebrate, whatever.
I already kind of have that with my Christmas tree and everything.
Yeah, it's like kind of like your Christmas tree. It's like it's up all... By the way, we were going to talk about that on Friday, about you leaving your Christmas tree up all year long. Like, that's insane. Yeah. That's what an insane person does.
I mean, no, traditionally it's what Karens do, and you guys know I'm not a Karen. But I'm going to steal. I'm taking that back for me. I'm going to put that tree up year round. I'm going to change it for, I guess, first of the year, January. I don't know what January is yet, but I'll figure something out, and I'll load it up with... different. Yeah, I guess I could do like this is my new beginning tree. Come to the tree, take a wish off of it, read it, and try to implement that in your gratitude journal.
Well, doesn't it take away the whole putting up the Christmas tree for the holidays and do like now
it empowers it. It makes it stronger. It strengthens it.
But if it's all year long, there's nothing special about Christmas anymore.
There's nothing special about Christmas right now.
No, there is.
My parents are dead.
I don't know what that has to do with it. Let's do some weird.
There you go. Okay, weird job it is. Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by Streamline Florida. If you want a refi or a mortgage, talk to Brian Zymo and his team. They will hook you up and they'll let you know over the phone if it's smart for you to refi. Or maybe take some money out of your house, take some equity out, to pay off some credit cards. There's maybe some better business decisions you could do with your house. So just give them a call and find out. That's the easiest thing to do.
That's what I did,
It's easy. They'll do all the work. And
you do very little. Phone call, email maybe.
And then next thing you know, you don't have to pay your mortgage for 2 months, and you took some equity out, paid off some bills, and now your monthly nut is way less, and your house did the work, right? Because most likely your house has equity. Anyway.
The term nut.
I don't like it.
I mean, you use it for a lot of things. Squirrels use it. Porn stars use it. It's a thing. It's a thing. Also, someone in our chat room is being very disrespectful to me in doubting the fact that I do use incandescent light bulbs in my Christmas lights. I still like a tiny electric flame in my lights. That's what I like.
Oh, yeah. He's got the hot, molten hot.
I have the hottest bulbs in town.
So, obviously, we've had some cancellations for Weird Job.
But he's on the list. He's on the emergency call list.
Yeah. You know how, remember, like, when Jay Leno used to have, like, I know with Jimmy Kimmel, he did this a lot with Adam Carolla, where he had some big guests canceled, some real celebrities, and then you have to get Adam Carolla at the last minute because, he's got nothing to do. That's similar to what we have here for today's Weird Job.
I've been teaching my Weird Job, jerk.
Teaching.
I mean,
Sam and I were having this discussion, and I would have to. I want to come to a class just so I can see, and I just want to observe. I don't want to kick and punch. My legs are too small. My legs are too small to do any of that. I just want to see how you run the class.
Seth takes it seriously.
Don't take this as disrespect, Seth. I don't mean any by this, but it is hard for me to envision you because I like to cut up with you. I like to joke with you. It's funny. It's very difficult for me to see you in a scenario where you're running the class and commanding like a teacher and like a compassionate teaching sensei. Because I know he does take it seriously. In fact, the only thing that I know that Seth fully takes seriously 100%, and I'm going to try to say it right, is karate.
Yeah.
That, I swear to God, it's the only thing I know he's all in on.
Nothing else.
Well, karate and, martial arts in general, like the gym, jiu-jitsu, karate, wrestling, all that stuff, yes.
Yeah.
Wrestling?
Over your friendships, your relationship,
your family.
Everything.
Kicking over everything.
Yeah, and then it is a lot. It is a lot different. So, like if you would ever go into a class or bring your kid in for a class or something like that, you would notice that it's night and day of of how I am with you guys and how I am in the class.
Yeah.
First thing I'm going to say when I'm up here is no blammers, bro. This is a blammer-free zone.
So.
Oh, no. I blame the whole time. I just don't say anything, and I do what I see.
So you're still you just don't draw attention to it. Okay.
So
Yeah.
today's weird job is going to be the job of sensei. Because
That is a weird job.
That is, I mean.
It's also cultural appropriation.
I think it is.
I mean.
Yeah. Can a good old American Joe be a sensei?
Am I suddenly a Rastaman? Like, is that the way it works now? If I just take a couple classes, dance all-American reggae class?
It's a title given to you. You don't give it to yourself. You have to be. It's rude for you to call yourself a sensei.
Did you see how he repositioned the phone? Because he takes it seriously. If he could jump through that receiver and grab our necks, he would. I could hear it. I could hear it.
I just finished my food, so now I can put the phone by my face.
So, Seth, let's start from the beginning of being a sensei. Is there any type of accreditation that, you say only other people can call you sensei?
Is it like the Santa Claus school we watched a video on today? There's a Santa Claus school you could go to, and you could, for $585, you can learn how to be Santa Claus.
Yeah. Is there any schooling?
Okay. No. Okay, look, anybody can call themselves a doctor, but then when you look into it, you have to have a legitimate accreditation from some sort of university or whatever like that to have that doctor title. So same thing with sensei. Anyone can call themselves a sensei, and we can open a dojo and say, "Hey, I'm Sensei Steve." But when you look into the actual sensei, you find out where they got their diploma from. What institution they got it from, blah 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 blah, and all that sort of stuff. What kai or what federation you received your sensei title from? I guess you could say.
This burned hot, but it would have been funny back when "What Does the Fox Say" was running hot. You could have done "What Does the Sin Say" and had all your little kids jump around you, whipping their belts around, and you really whip up a kid froth of new kickers for your program, because you need new kickers, right?
Of course I always need new kickers, but I got tons. We got from that last little thing I did at the Orlando Convention Center. I got like 6 or 7 signed up, which is awesome. So I have a completely full kit. Like I got like 25, 30 kids running around crazy in the class right now that I have to yell at to start class. So I have a lot of kids now, which is nice.
Calm down, you blammer!
Now, when you say accreditation,
oh no, they do knuckle push-ups if they're bad.
Oh my God!
From
goddamn torture school.
Yeah, knuckle push-ups. Those are
no,
hard.
It's called discipline, which a lot of people lack nowadays with their kids. So,
He's not wrong. He's not.
In the sensei world, when you're talking about being accredited for being a sensei,
Angie's List is what you're looking for.
Well, in let's say higher education world, you got your Everests of the world. You got your DeVry, your Everest, and then you got your UCF and FSU, UF, and then above that you're talking about Princeton, Harvard, and is there a spectrum of accreditation where basically I'm asking, is there the Everest of sensei accreditation? And is there Harvard?
You see, my accreditation is the Brown of karate. You see, it's from Japan. Like my accreditation's from Japan. Like I have a actual diploma sent from the International Shito-Do Federation from Japan. That kind of gives me my rank.
The International Doo-Doo Federation. Hold on a second.
Doo-Doo, goddammit.
It's doo-doo.
I believe that is what Parliament Funkadelic. Remember they had a record called Invasion of the Doo-Doo Chasers, and it's all like psychedelic funk. So you have a diploma from the International Doo-Doo Federation.
I knew this would just be a whole bit just to make fun of my crap, man. I hate you guys so much.
Hey,
no, it's not. I said you plug your thing.
One of us has a doo-doo plaque. One of us doesn't.
No, we're not making fun of anything. We're just asking you some questions.
The name of my style, it's spelled Shito, which pronounced Shito. But it's spelled...
Wait a minute. Your form that you teach at your dojo, which is your passion project, just happens to be named Shito.
RYU. Student.
It's very, I'm just going to say, that'll make some people want to believe in God when they hear things like that.
So, let's talk about the business of a dojo. So, let's say I want to start, Tom...
All-American Kicking Dojo.
yeah. Tom's All-American Kicking Dojo. And I go online, I get, just like Daniel did when he became a priest.
One of the things that you have that nobody else has. Tom Van's All-American Kicking Dojo, where you just eat your peanuts and put the shells on the floor. It's
like,
just like Roadhouse. And the first rule of Tom
we have barrels of peanuts.
Barrels of peanuts. Get those kids proteined up. Get some good fat in them. Get some protein. Get some carb.
You throw them right on the floor.
And nuts are calorically dense, and the shells will actually strengthen their feet.
So I go online, and then I find out Sensei accreditation, so I can, I buy that for $25.
No, you can't just buy. That's the thing. You can't just buy that.
And you can
buy anything.
A strip mall Mexican restaurant, El Porto is going out of business, so you move right in there. You and your wife and your two sons get to painting, and you're like, we're going to turn this place into a show place.
Yeah. We have a glass.
You might be able to trick the normal dullards that sign up and don't do any sort of research into what they're signing up for. But anybody that knows martial arts and they sign up at your place, like, okay, I want to see his style and where he got his
I don't know anyone other than you that knows martial arts.
Every parent I know that has a kid in karate it's
just for a babysitter.
They slip and accidentally call it babysitter.
Yeah, like when my dad would go to buy me Mortal Kombat, he'd go to Babbage's, he'd be like, "All right, you got a copy of the minor combat?" And they're like, "Yes, sir." And he's like, "Whatever, I'll buy it."
Well, that's why when anyone signs up, I automatically send them an entire, probably 30 pages worth of history and lineage and where I got.
Is it just photocopies?
I'm thorough, and I want them to know what they're getting is legit and it's real. So I'm very thorough on everyone.
Hold on, I'm going to help you out, because if it's just photocopies, that's what every chiropractor gives me when I leave. They give me a photocopy of some stretches I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, everybody who's listening to me right now has done this. The chiropractor hands you the sheet, or the doctor. Normally it's a chiropractor. They're like, do these stretches, and you're like, oh, thanks for the handouts, and then they're horrible. They've been photocopied a million times. The whole page is black. I'm like, how much ink did you use on this? If you'd update your copy, you wouldn't be burning through toner. And then you take those, and yes, you either leave them in your car forever until Mr. Car Wash pulls them out and throws them away, or you throw them away yourself.
So I open up my dojo, and I start, I get the... you get
a prize wheel.
I get the wacky inflatable arm tube man out front, and he's waving around.
But his eyes are different.
So my whole goal is to just get as many kids to sign up as possible. And then it's you sign up for X amount of classes. So it's like, all right, and you give them kind of like how I do sales. You give them 3 options.
Yeah.
And
all you got to do, I've seen these classes. All you got to do is make them run in a circle for an hour,
and then they all pay per month. It's all about monthly subscription services, right?
Yeah.
Or is that the business?
Well, yeah. As far as the membership goes, it's like a car. It's a certain price for the year. The more you put down on that price, the less it's going to be every month that you pay. But you also get a discount the more you put down. So if you put a certain amount down, say you put $199 down instead of $99 down, you're going to get a 5% discount throughout the year.
All right.
5%? Might as well not even have a discount.
5%. I'm just giving an example.
I am not a fan of a single-digit discount.
God.
If I go anywhere, they're like, and you got a 2% discount. I'm like, 2%? At least give me in the 10.
Right.
So, Seth, and then after that, people pay for the courses. How you get them in there to stick with you is you start, because I've seen this with who's the guy that he was playing volleyball?
Jeffrey Epstein.
No.
Oh my God.
He was kind of like that, but
Karch Karai.
He had a Colt, and it was all
Nexium Colt.
Colt.
Yeah.
It was all based around you get a different sash with a different color, and that's kind of like
Keith Raniere.
How did we forget that guy's name?
The belt system.
It's been a long year.
It's kind of like Scientology, where it's always about about
This
getting
is kickintology.
to getting to the next level, and then it's like, all right, you go from white belt to white belt, but 1 yellow stripe, then 3 yellow stripes, then 3
and
yellow.
Once you become a black belt, then I get in there with my cauterizing gun and I write my name on your uterus.
And so it's then it's the, I guess, people chasing that next belt, which keeps them in the program.
It's like
right?
unlocking video game achievements, right?
Yeah.
It's like
that's how, and then
except the video game achievements is like you get like a special music.
But then once you get to the black belt, is there anywhere to go from there?
Black plus.
Yeah, black belt. Like, okay, when you say black belt, the Japanese term for black belt is shodan. Show means first. Dan is rank. So
Show
essentially,
Shodong.
Dan, D-A-N, Dan.
Oh.
And then, so essentially, when you get your shodan, that just means beginning. Like you're just starting.
D-A-N is Dan.
So they're Dan. A's are in Japanese. So anyway, when you reach your first Dan, it means the first level, meaning that you start at your black belt. There's 10 black belts, and rarely anyone ever gets to, your 10th degree before you're dead. So I mean, it's for 1 through 10, and then you test whatever you're going for. Say if you're going for your second Dan, you have to wait 2 years. If you're going for your third Dan, you have to wait 3 years. Fourth, fifth, sixth, you have to wait, 5, 6, 7 years before you test again. So normally that rarely happens. When you see people that are young, like 40s and 50s, and they say they're like 8th, 9th Dan, it's bullcrap because they're just giving themselves belts like whenever they want. So the true people are, when they're a lot older, it's very rare.
What kind of dong you running? Sam wants to know what kind of dong you're running.
Well, it depends. I was a 4th Dan, but now I'm a 3rd Dan now.
Lost a couple centimeters on your dong.
I did it because I kind of started over.
I honestly do respect the fact that you make the craft harder for yourself in order to learn. All jokes aside, I like making jokes with you because you can take it. But I'm serious. I like the fact that you're not a belt farm, and I like the fact that you actually are that you like the craft. It's kind of like I give Tom crap about his gambling and betting, but I also know that he enjoys the aspect of trying to get better at it, and I know you do that for karate too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not a belt factory. There are belt factories out there, but most people test every 2 to 3 months. I wait for 4 months, but I don't let everyone test every single time. Like, you have to have the correct attendance, you have to show the correct progression, and all that stuff. And I push everybody hard. So, I mean, it's not like I'm just giving them away. They bust their butt.
That's good, man. I think that's good because you're actually going to learn.
And in other let's talk about kids for a second. Like in other youth sports, every once in a while you'll see some it'll be like a young Derrick Henry, and he's in Pop Warner football, and he just.
I love seeing those videos of
just
kids
trucking
they have them now because video cameras and phones have been around enough. But you can see kids right before in middle school, high school, receivers, and you'll be like, "Oh my God, he had it!"
Yeah. Like Julio Jones in his high school, and grainy. Actually, well, even there's an HD video of Julio, but it's like you'll see child prodigies in sports, and they'll just be better than everybody. Do you ever run across that in karate, where all of a sudden, a new a kid will come and all of a sudden just be head and shoulders above everybody else, stronger than everybody, and just picks it up faster?
Oh yeah, like natural athletes. Yeah, I have 1 or 2 now, but trust me, it's a nice and really to get those kids, because usually it's kind of the opposite, which is great because it's a challenge, and I love to see the progression that kids that are very unathletic and are very sheltered and quiet and shy and cry and scream because they don't want to get on the mat, and then 3-4 months later they're totally 180'd, and it's a totally different person out there, which is really cool to see. I like that. But I love getting the natural athletes, and I have 2 of them right now that just come and are going to be amazing when they get. And they love karate too, so they're going to be definitely competing, and they're going to be badasses.
That's the best part of what you teach to kids, though. Is I don't even think it has to do with karate, and I say the same thing about May taking the dance classes that she does.
Yeah,
I just like the discipline, and I like the fact that she's being kind of held to a standard by somebody other than her parents. I know that sounds kind of weird.
Oh, yeah.
But in the world you are. You know, in the world you have a boss, or in the world you have to integrate yourself with other people. So,
dude, if your child was in Seth's dojo, there's nothing bad that will come from that.
That's good
and
stuff.
Only good. Like seriously, like you'll only learn to be better.
So when you're bringing your boys there, Tom?
Well, that's because I'm lazy. My boys are soft. It's a horrible combination.
Well, they just like hanging out with each other, and they're not into anything. And I kind of like that. Now that
they
I'm
can
hearing
do the class together,
but
right?
now that I'm hearing it, no, they're doing their rock climbing, dreaming.
They're not doing nothing.
Yeah, they are. They're
That's
dreaming.
lazy. Back to me being lazy.
Why don't you take them to the dojo then?
So lazy.
Drop them off at the dojo. Let Seth watch
No, I want Tom to do his you could do some All-American kicking.
I've got a really inside business question for you, Seth. Just because I know about like business insurance and stuff, is your insurance astronomical because you're dealing with something? Because I know, like, when we bought insurance for the time we had the wrestling event at our 90s party, 9-year anniversary, the fact that we were doing exhibition wrestling, the insurance was freaked out about that. Like, and it was.
Oh. Is that why? Did you pay a lot for that?
Is
that why you didn't pay me?
Possibly. It was very expensive.
I did not pay for it and just crossed my fingers no one got hurt or paralyzed.
Oh my God.
And I was like, well, how much could they actually take?
Well, that's why. Did you notice I
was
was having everybody sign a waiver? That was really just so I could give them a talk down of like, keep it together.
Don't land on your neck.
Yeah, come on, whatever you do.
So, because I imagine the regular insurance company is going to look at like a karate dojo and be like, all right, there's people in there doing moves and like flipping each other or doing like, you know what I'm saying, they could possibly get hurt, and it's like two kids are like practicing some moves and one of them breaks his arm by accident. I mean, that's more likely to happen
Break his arm.
than if you're teaching people chess or what, you know what I'm saying, like
right,
it's
right.
just you have to pay a bunch.
Considering what we're doing, the insurance really isn't that bad. Like even at the jungle, it's bad, but it's not like really bad. It depends on how many students you have, and they ask questions like, well, when they do spar, are they wearing headgear? And of course, we're wearing headgear at all times. Yeah, so it's just stuff like that kind of helps it out. So
is a lot of that stuff kind of like common sense, because like you're saying, like, of course they're wearing headgear. Yeah, they're children. Of course they're wearing headgear. We're not here to injure anybody. We're here to learn the sport. I mean, like, but then out of pocket, what's your biggest expense for the business? Is it all of the different equipment that you need, the padding and I would say is it the flooring?
Oh, yeah. Well, the startup was the floor 100% because I did most dojos, and I don't know one around here that has the floor that I have.
Have you seen his floor? You haven't seen it. Like, it bounces. Like, he had me jump up and down on it, and it literally has it's almost like a wrestling...
gym mat?
Like, almost like a wrestling ring. No, it's wood, right? It's wood.
No, it's wood. It's traditional... Well, the middle part is traditional wood, so I can take the padding off and have a traditional Japanese dojo floor if I want to. But it's just safer to have the padding over it like I have it. But under the wood is 1 inch thick heater hose, like for your car. It's heater hose, so it's really thick rubber. And there's, like 1,000 square feet of it, more than 1,000 square feet of it, all laid out under the floor, so it gives the whole floor like a little bit of a bounce.
Yeah, it gives it like
a give, so it doesn't hurt so much when you land on it.
Exactly.
It's super solid, but it's very much like a wrestling ring where there's just enough give to it, where you can still execute everything perfectly without, and then not injure yourself if you do hit the wood. It's neat.
Yeah, it's just so much better on your joints, and it's more for longevity. We're training for longevity. We want to get better and be able to do it for a while, and especially with adults doing it on a hardwood floor with no give. It's going to kill your knees and your ankles after a while. So this definitely helps that, for sure. But that was the biggest expense, doing all that, yes.
Seth.
Besides that, then advertising and marketing.
When I used to work out at the jungle, I was there one time, and some guy offered me, he's like, hey, do you want
some GHB, bro?
And this guy, he's like, hey, do you want to spar with me? And I was like, all right. And then he's like, do you want gi? Because we're doing some jujitsu. And then I was like, yeah, I'll take one. So he gave me his spare gi, and I put it on, and it was so heavy and hot. I was like, wow, why is this so thick?
Yeah, it's like why are you guys fighting wearing a big Paddington Bear overcoat?
It's like the gi was so thick. I was like, did they make a thinner gi?
I like
something
a silk
more
gi.
something more silky, or like made out of the material that Villain makes their board shorts out of.
Terry gi.
Like some Egyptian cotton.
How about can I get a 128 thread count gi? I don't want this rough ass.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what you're talking about. For jiu-jitsu, no, you have to have a really thick, heavy gi because you're pulling on it, yanking on it, twisting it. But
I don't want people yanking on my gi. That's not fighting. That's gi yanking.
That's jiu-jitsu. But our karate, we have two different types of gis. You have a kata gi, which is our form gi, and they have a kumite gi, which are fighting gi. So our fighting gi is just like that. Like the silkier, smooth, lighter, the better, because you can move fast and it's light and you can move around. So we have gis like that, which I have a few of those. And then kata gi is a little bit thicker, and it's made to create a little bit of snap to it. So that way, when you execute your moves, it sounds nice and snappy.
How about a sag gi, which is my wife's ass? How about that? Put that down for the award show, Sam. Calling that shot like Babe Ruth. I'm trying to win this year.
So, Seth, with how much? You
thought the gi question was going to be bigger, didn't you?
No. How much on average do you think it would cost the average person to go from white belt to black belt through, let's say, like, not even yours, I'm not even saying, like, but
Belt Farm?
What's the general cost in the United States for that? Like, if you
what's the biggest chain? Is there a massive chain like a Walmart of
karate schools?
You don't have to say its name. You don't have to say the name, but there is a thing.
Yes, there is. There's like three main ones here in Orlando, in Central Florida area.
There's one called Extreme Kicks.
Yeah,
and it's XTR.
Yes.
I don't want to name the ones that are I call them McDojos.
Everybody does. Yeah, all my karate guys. And you know what's funny is that a lot of my karate guys are like jiu-jitsu guys in that they've secretly been doing it for years, but you don't hear them talk about it.
Yeah,
but they do it.
So, Seth, have you ever had a problem where, because I think I would land in this category.
Who beat up all the dads?
No, where you have to do your karate barefoot, right? And then I have an extreme foot odor problem, especially.
God.
I'm saying
I thought you got rid of that.
No,
I haven't smelled
He just rubs deodorant on them.
I haven't smelled anything in a long time. Is that because of the deodorant?
Well,
that's because
you're getting used to it.
I know. I got like 15 pairs of sandals, so when one gets wet, I have to let it dry out for a while. So I just pick it dry out.
I think you've been doing good.
I just bought an insane amount of sandals, so that way that I don't have to wear the wet ones or ones because that's what causes the extreme odor. So I would, say I work out at Seth's dojo, I accidentally wear the wrong pair of sandals, and then next thing you know, I have to kick them off, I get on the, do my kicks.
What if your feet get wet? Do they start activating?
Oh, yeah. Then the sweat starts going. Then I start stinking the whole room up like I did at my trainer one time, and the old man was coughing.
He still talks about it.
And he says, hey,
that old man, Seth, I apologize. We're going to tell a story for a second. The old man that started coughing that made fun of you, that's the old man that when I was going in to do my workout, his pants fell down.
No, yeah, he did.
His whole entire pants fell down like King Hippo from it's Sam. His keys and everything were in his pants, and he had on like cotton pants, like what really heavy people wear, like cotton t-shirt shorts.
Yeah.
And they fell down, and then he had on like tiny yellow underwear, like
briefs.
Was this my dad?
But yellowed, like nicotine yellow underwear, and you could see everything hanging sadly in his underwear. It was I was like, oh my God, you should be ashamed of yourself, old man.
So have you ever had a student with extreme foot odor that you had to pull
them aside and have a tough talk?
Yeah.
Okay, at karate, no, not yet. But let me two things. One, the thing that I told you I send at the beginning when everyone signs up. There's also a long list of things of it's called Dojo Etiquette rules, and one of the main things on the Dojo Etiquette rule is I'll read to you, actually. Please make sure if you aren't feeling well, do not come to class. We work very hard to keep the dojo clean and safe for all students. We don't want anything to spread. Same goes for hygiene. Please make sure nails are kept short and trimmed, and the gi is washed and clean. Please make sure your hair is tied up and out of the way. So we send that to everybody.
Yeah, but you didn't put beehole on there. You got to put beehole on there.
Yeah,
people are stupid.
Wow.
If you don't...
But the second part to that is we had at the jungle, we had plenty of people come in just stinking like pure onions. It was disgusting. It was like
because they don't wash their gi. I used to do that when I was in the high school gym.
But not only that, people were clean. They just stunk when they started rolling. It was disgusting. So we had to tell.
Well, when I'm on ecstasy, I stink too. It's because all my faculties are relieving themselves.
You had to tell them to.
No, we didn't tell them specifically. So we lined the whole class. What we do. This is what we always do.
You line up somebody's beehole stinks. One of you in here has got a stinky beehole. When I figure out what it is.
We line the whole gym up, when we're bowing out, and we say, hey, guys, just a reminder, please make sure that everyone is, saying the etiquette rules. We're just like, please make sure you're wearing deodorant. Please make sure the gis are clean, guys. We want to make sure everything's good. So we just make a general announcement if that one person stinks. That way it kind of gets in their head. And if it happens again...
It's like when
you're going to get that kid bullied.
It's like when you single out all the employees, but you know the person who's doing it. You're like, all right, somebody
I'll turn my back. And whoever stole the $20, put it back.
On my desk. Yeah.
I mean, there's times when I roll with my friends and I'm smelling like their armpits sometimes, or their breath. And I'm like, bro, did you brush your teeth before? I'll say that just to my friends, but I won't say it to students that are paying.
I was standing at the holiday parade over the weekend, and the person next to me was a woman. She went to show me her tattoo because apparently, when you have tattoos, everybody with tattoos thinks you want to see their tattoo.
Yeah.
And she leaned over and showed me a tattoo on her shoulder. And when she did this and then lifted her arm up, and then I caught the air out of her chicken wing there, and it was straight. I drive BO. It was straight up, hot, walking in the sun, shopping.
It was 2 for $10 BO?
It was 2 for 10. I mean, hot. It was the rankest, stankest, and it was bad. I looked at my wife. I'm like, I think I got to go home. I don't think I can. I haven't had full BO in my nose in a very long time. Very long time.
Seth, do you ever have the Karate Kid? I'll call this the Karate Kid, where you have a star student, a pupil, right?
Yeah, but he keeps hanging out with this dumb old man that's promising him a car. Do you know how long? Do you know how many?
You're mixing Karate Kid with Gran Torino.
No, in Karate Kid he gives him the car too.
Oh yeah, Gran Torino just stole from him.
Here's the thing.
Karate Kid.
Here's the thing. If you're a pedophile, you will profile kids you'll get them to come to your house all summer long and do all kinds of stuff to you, and then at the end you will give them a classic car. And you're horrible. And you're a horrible person for doing it.
Well, I mean, the kid got a classic car.
But what did he have to do to get the car? Wax on, wax off. So many jokes there.
Yeah. So what I'm mentioning is, have you ever or even thought about this? I know your dojo's still fairly new, but you train your star pupil all the way up to where you think he's gonna maybe one day start taking over some classes. And
you will take over the dojo.
But then he leaves and he starts his own dojo to compete against you. Is that a problem?
But you're too old.
Do you make them sign non-competes or something?
No, not for the dojo, not yet. But I will do that once they reach a black belt level, and if they ever express interest in wanting to teach.
Wait a minute. I'll have them do it. Now, what about we have our friend.
But the jungle, just FYI, the jungle that's happened already. And a funny story, actually, this week it just happened where I just found out that they're closing, and one of the instructors that left with them came kind of crawling back to the jungle and asked to train with us again, which I think is great.
Please, I closed down my other dojo, and I'm sorry my beehole stunk.
Did you let him back? I mean, he opened up...
No, the one that opened it didn't come back. The one that went to work for him was also a teacher at ours and left, and he came back. And yeah, we had stipulations for him to come back, but we made him come back.
All right.
A member's a member. Paying members paying.
Stipulations.
We'll let you come back, but we got to put a grape in your beer. And you got to walk it. If it falls out, you're eating it.
So, how big can your dojo get? Like,
whoa, buddy. That's a Tracy question.
Like, Seth, is this truly? I know it is a passion project for you, but you're also, you're a businessman and you want your dojo to be successful. You work hard,
but I don't think he wants his dojo to be successful at the cost of actually
the reputation,
or no, of just respecting. Like, I think you can answer this. I think he'd rather be small and respectful to the craft than bigger and have to cut corners with
belt farming, and stuff like
or even just the respect that he does things in a certain way that he likes his.
I don't know. He already went to the spin the wheel. The pretty
fast. I was going to say the only thing that I went with was actually board break, rebreakable boards.
But you did say you'd never do that.
Yeah, so that's one thing I went back on.
Yeah, but that was a big one, because I remember in here, you were like, I'm never going to be one of those places where I let the kids come over and they're just kicking all the boards, kick them everything, and now you'll never get a wheel.
They call that the top of the slope. It is always a starting point.
Yeah.
No, as long as I'm staying true, like Daniel said, as long as I'm staying true to the art, then that's really all I care about with this. If I wasn't doing how I'm doing at the Jungle, then this would be a totally different conversation. I would be saying, I am doing a wheel, I'm doing everything. I'm hiring a clown to come and hand out. Like, I'm doing everything.
Karate
but
clown. No. Hold on, that's a good idea. You could dress up and start making extra money going to other dojos as the karate clown.
Oh, will you do birthday parties? Like, you come to my birthday party.
I'm a clown and I know karate.
Your 40th birthday party.
Yeah, I would actually be a nunchuck clown. Yeah. I would just have nunchucks and I would do tricks with nunchucks.
Karate clown doesn't just do balloon animals; he kicks the ass out of them.
like I want you to come to my party,
cake.
And then I want you to kick my wife's clothes or whatever.
Kick a pinata. I want you to kick over some pots.
Kick the laundry pile off the piano.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just
kick my dog a few times, wake him up.
If you pay me enough, I'll do anything.
Yeah, I'll throw a watermelon up. You put your foot through it. Then I want you to make love to my wife while I videotape it.
That's called the bull.
Can you do that, karate clown?
I like it when the doors close and then I come into the door and it's happening.
Yeah, it's already happening.
It's like you walk down the hallway with the video camera and then you open
It's a fabricated reveal.
Yeah. Did you tell them, hey, I'm going to leave and then come back
guys,
10 minutes later?
Go ahead and start. I'm going to come in like I'm catching you.
Yeah.
It's more exciting for me.
Anyway.
And then you get the scene where it's through the crack first and then he just opens the door full blown.
Back to how big can you get it? How big can this business be? Can you have... a dozen different instructors and 500 students.
24 hours a day.
Yeah, how big do you want to get it?
Locations.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I already have 2 or 3 students that expressed interest in being with me for the long haul and wanting to teach eventually one day and have it, because they, fell in love with it and stuff like that, which is really cool. But, I mean, right now I have 3 instructors, and I just broke 100 students, which is a huge for, a small dojo. So
that's awesome.
So, yeah, that was my goal, was to have at least 100. So I'm right about there. So, cool. But no, I would like to have a few 2 or 3 dojos throughout Central Florida, and have a sensei at each one, and then me go to each one. But yeah, I think it can get really big.
So you want to tour to each dojo, kind of like Ashley Schaefer BMW, where you show up, and then the other senseis are in charge, but you're the owner sensei.
Yeah, I'll be the head sensei.
That's cool. I think that's cool.
Eventually, I could be called a shihan, which is above a sensei. So that means So sensei just means instructor, obviously. Teacher, instructor. Shihan means master instructor or master teacher. So
you're the guy in the black hood in Squid Game. That sits on the couch with the rocks glass, watching it all unfold.
With all the big fat Americans who are gambling on these people's lives. So, is there anything bigger than Shihan? And once you get to that point, how many different senseis can be under you?
There's no limit to how many senseis can be under you, but yeah, there's above a Shihan, there's Renshi, then there's Soke, which is the founder of a style, but Shihan is kind of
This
one of the
sounds a
highest.
lot like multi-level marketing to me.
So, Seth, speaking of that, the highest rated ninja. For lack of a better term.
They don't. I don't think they do it like that.
But in your discipline, I'm guessing is an old man, right?
Yeah, he's Hanshi. Yeah, Julius Theory, Hanshi Julius Theory. So Hanshi's the highest in our style because Solface.
Hanshi Julius Caesar. Who is that?
Julius Theory. He's European. He's Hungarian. Oh dang, is he Hungarian? Oh no, he's crap. You know what? I forgot where he's from in Europe.
Well,
Julius Caesar, Hungarian black belt.
So my point is, could you beat him up in a regular? Like if it was a fight to see who taps out, could you beat him?
Oh. He's old, so yeah.
Well, that kind of takes it over. You should be the master.
Why are there
like he should be able to? It should be Game of Thrones style
knowledge base in karate. Like in jiu-jitsu, I would be his sensei for sure, or his instructor for sure, because he doesn't know much about jiu-jitsu. But in karate, knowledge base, he knows so much more than me.
Well, if we based everything in every martial arts based on just who's the best, and we got rid of respect. The cornerstone of most martial arts, I believe, is rooted in some sort of respect, right? Yeah. If you eliminate all of that and then just make it who's the best at beating each other up, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I'm saying in everybody that's into your form of martial arts, who's you the strong?
Best?
Like, are you? If it was just a regular fight, could you beat everybody?
Yes.
You should be the king, then.
You're
king of karate.
Of, whatever your brand of karate is.
Yeah, you should be. You should, like put
you
that.
You don't have to be the clown. You're the king.
Yeah, you should put that on the front of your glass and shoe polish.
And the first thing you do, and this is if you want to disrupt the space, you go find this guy, and you do exactly what we just said. You want to have more than 100 students. You beat up the guy, and you go, look, I did it. I'm the best. Come to me. Come to my dojo. Then look,
but the thing is, I could beat them up, so I could teach people how to fight, but I won't be able to teach them the correct kata to do. Like,
well, neither can he, because where's your kata now, Julius Caesar? You got beat up.
Yeah. All right, Seth. Plug your dojo. Where can people sign up? Where is it located? All that.
Okay, well, it's located in the Mills 50 district, so literally right on the corner of Mills and 50, behind the CVS there. It's Karate of Orlando. You can go to karateoforlando.com.
Sam put it in the chat room before you even said it, because she cares about you.
Or you can go, Instagram to Karate of Orlando, and it's at Karate of Orlando, which I do, the address and stuff like that's there too, if you just want to go to Instagram. But we're doing a special. Well, it's not much. I mean, it's still a special, I guess, because it was a better special last
what are you doing? That's bad marketing when it's not really a special.
Well,
what are you doing?
It's free training, but we've had this going for the past 6 weeks. So if you got it earlier, it was more worth it. But I'll throw in some extra goodies now. Like I'll throw in a free, my backpack that I got for the gear bags and stuff like that.
Nice.
I'll throw in a free gear bag and stuff like that. But also free until January 1st, 2022.
Box of
so you don't pay anything until that date. So you get a few more weeks of free training.
All right, awesome. Well, Seth, thanks so much for doing the interview today, and you taught us a lot about senseis.
Yeah, I don't think I taught you anything. But,
I learned.
What'd you learn today, Tom?
I learned that there's two other, better senseis called something different above that.
You learned about as much as people driving in the cars right now, right?
Seth's got a cool floor at his dojo.
Yeah, it's bouncy.
Can you just bring your sons in just to watch a class? That's all I want.
They're not into that. And I saw a video earlier today. Tommy Van's got the comedy. Tommy Van is the next Chappelle, and he's going for it.
I'll bring him in. We'll talk about it. But I want a private lesson. I don't want to be with everybody else. And I want...
you want the gym private?
No, you need to have them watch the other kids and see how much fun they have and how I'm yelling at them and making them do things.
All right, Seth. We'll see you on Friday.
Yeah. See you Friday.
All right, later, buddy. Oh, he sounds like he's scared to come in here now.
No, he's good. He's good.
Don't get the funny one in karate. You can't ruin that one. Have you seen? You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, he's funny.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Well, it's interesting too, Ben, as we go into this new way of entertainment and social media where everybody's in charge of their own content, where they used to be back in the day. Not to continue to bring up old stuff, but
well, that's the name of our show.
They were
old stuff.
The argument,
old stuff with Tom and Dan. I knew what I was doing when I signed up for it.
He's here.
The argument and what made us so mad about like the FCC, and it's weird. I want to talk to you about like the new way that other like companies monitor and what goes out on their streams or whatever.
Oh, right.
But back in the day when the FCC was like in charge of controlling content. It was always the argument of like, if you let people just do whatever they want, or if we weren't here, people would be screaming the N-word or all this horrible
chaos.
Like, it's like
we've all seen stand-up comedy at an open mic. It's about that, but on the radio.
Yeah. And then it's like, well, I'm sure they would know their audience. Like, I was always thinking, like, why would they sabotage themselves and
they're not just going to go crazy.
like even like cable channels, the FCC doesn't regulate them, and the Disney Channel they regulate themselves because they love money. I don't understand why that is such a weird concept.
There was a sweet spot, Ben, where all broadcasting companies for radio and TV, they thought that for some reason, if no one was there of like the government to make sure that you're like in check, that you would, I guess, much like a person that's on a bridge and then jerking the wheel to the right and going off the bridge, that you would just start ripping your clothes off and screaming and like defecating everywhere. And without anything in place, you would just lose your mind and not be able to broadcast nothing but obscenities.
So basically, you've learned like what your standards and practices are for your own channel and like what you want to say, and you regulate yourself because that's the most logical thing to do, what any human would do.
Have you ever had to pull any of your stuff down because maybe it was misunderstood or you misspoke or anybody was getting at you?
I've had a few videos that have hit the wrong part of the internet, and I did not take them down. I did a video about New Jersey, and if you've never been to New Jersey, there's a debate in Jersey that like there's North Jersey and there's South Jersey, and they're two completely different like worlds. Like one of them is very Philly, one of them is very New York City, and everything they do is just disagreed upon. So I had my New Jersey character sit down, that ask him a question, he would answer, shake his head, and then answer a different thing. And people would comment, "Why are you making fun of Tourette's?" And I would have to be like, well, I'm not. You clearly just don't understand the joke, and you're trying to be offended right now. I understand where you're coming from, but you're wrong, and I'm not going to take this down. And so it's still up there. It's got like millions of views because it's just all the comments are like, please stop making fun of Tourette's.
Do you eventually step away and not... You like
look at the comments.
Yeah, like how do you what? Like, because I know that young people, myself included, anybody in here, it's hard to step away. Do you have to get to a point where you're like you make peace with it and then you're out?
Yeah. So what I've come to at this point is I will respond one time. And the way that TikTok works is now you can kind of like pin your comments to the top of the thing. So I'll just comment one time. I'll be like, hey, people are saying this. That's not what's happening. Here's what's actually happening. And then I'll pin that, and I will just answer it one time, and then I'll leave. And what I'll find out is that people that actually follow me and read my stuff will start answering other people's comments for me.
Interesting. Yeah. So then it self-polices a second wave of like people that are actually there to accurately download your message. Gotcha. That's good.
I had to take down a couple videos one time, though, because I spent 6 years in the military and I didn't get out until March of 2021, 03, 04, 21. But who's counting? It was me every day. I posted a video that made fun of the Army Reserves, and I made a joke about it. And that video got so popular that the Military Times wrote an article about it. And then that article got so popular that someone eventually showed the 3-star commanding general of the entire Army Reserves. And then she got so mad that she personally bought a plane ticket to fly into Lakeland, Florida to come to my drill unit to make sure that I was there awake and in person. And I
really?
Oh my God.
Dude, you just gave me chill bumps. I don't like any of this. That scares the hell out of me.
It was the funniest thing that has ever happened.
Did they ask you to take it down?
I still laugh about it to this day.
Did they make you take it down, or you took it down on your own?
She made me take it. She yelled at me for a while, and everyone behind her was just laughing. They also thought it was funny. It was a good joke, but the compromise was like either we take further action, we either like take your pay, take your rank, whatever, or you take down that video and any video of you in uniform. And I was like, if you can find them, I'll take them down. So I made them go through my entire TikTok to find any video that I was in uniform, which there was only like 2, and I knew where they were, and they were at the very beginning. But there was just some guy working for the U.S. Army getting paid to scroll through my TikTok for probably like 2 weeks of just video, no, that one's good. Video, no, and that brought me so much joy.
You're a goddamn terrorist, man.
Crazy story, dude.
You know what?
That is a crazy story.
We've heard a lot of like stories like that, especially at the beginning of social media, where
people freak out.
Like Army, the businesses, like our buddy that does Obsessed Garage,
Matt
Mormon. He told us about like his company. He worked for like a big stockbroker or whatever. Like, him posting videos, like they freaked out.
They brought him in the office.
I mean, look what they did with us. The same story. It's like us posting a podcast, and then once it got popular, they freaked out. And then that was during the time where all these companies were figuring out standards and practices and rules. Like I'm sure in the military now, you're not allowed to post anything. It's probably like between you and other circumstances, like they wrote the rules.
I ruined it for everybody.
You did.
Yeah. No, I think the rule is that you just can't post anything using a government phone.
That's okay.
Oh, okay.
And they were mad at me because I made fun of the Army Reserves, which that's fair, but I'm not going to stop.
I got you.
Yeah. I'm sure they have rules about like you posting anything within a military base. You know, I'm sure all
like
that stuff.
Video,
but you have to have people monitoring that, because how the hell everybody's got a smartphone and there's millions of people in the military, so it's like to even monitor that is probably nearly impossible.
Am I the only civilian that we know of that wears a body cam?
No.
You don't wear a body cam, do you? I wear a body cam every day.
I pretty much just walk around just covered in the fear of God, and that pretty much, that keeps me safe.
Okay, I like that.
So Ben, where is social media going? Because you're in the middle of it. This is your business. It seems like people's attention spans are getting smaller. Obviously, the popularity of TikTok, smaller,
is it still growing?
Shorter.
Is it still growing the way that you thought it was growing? Or are you seeing anything different that you're like, oh, that's interesting?
Well, Tom, as the president of social media,
you are.
Ben, I know I'm asking you an impossible. I'm asking you an impossible question. Ben, I know, but you had to have thought about it.
We are going to get anybody that we know that's in that world, like you, Matt Mormon, any of these guys that's in that world. We're going to ask them the blanket question: where do you think this is going? Because the hell if we know, we don't know.
Well, people would ask us where podcasts are going. We don't know. That's an impossible question too. But I have speculation.
Oh my God! This morning, Ben, I got an email from a guy, the sweetest man, and he's like, it was just a one-line email. It's like, I finally want to start a podcast.
Another one?
It was just a one-line email. It's like, I finally want to start a podcast. Like, oh my God, you're like 100 years too late, but I'll help you. I'll help you, Chad.
I have no idea, and I think this is more just a me thing. I don't really think about that stuff. I'm a very much, I'll cross that bridge when I get there kind of guy. I have no backup plans. I have no ideas of what I'm going to do next. It's just, if it happens, it happens, and I'll figure it out.
I love that. When you see him say that, doesn't he look so... When you say
you
that...
look relaxed.
You look relaxed, and you look so attractive, and you're just like chilled out, and I'm just looking at you, I'm like, oh my God, I want to be like that.
It's a better way to live, because you're like, well, I can't
He's surfing. He's surfing, right? He's surfing the waves.
I can't control what's going to happen. I can't influence what's going to happen. All I can do is what I can do now, and then
I'm going to write some good skits. I'm going to put them out there.
Yeah.
I have to do interviews with like agents and management companies sometimes, and they always ask the question, like, what do you want to do? Like, what is the goal here? Like, where are you going next? And I always have to make up an answer because I don't have one. I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, I have not said no to an opportunity in like 16 years. And you want me to be, there's no direction. It's just, you're going to offer me a thing and I'm going to say yes. And then it's going to work out, you know, as the agent, I don't want you to cage yourself in with me. If it looks like a thing where people will pay me money and I'll enjoy it, absolutely I'll do it.
Yeah.
Ben, last question, and and this is going to be a business question, but I'm curious because I deal with it too. Is
ED.
Do you get?
He's too young for that.
Do you?
It's attacking younger and younger now because of stress and because of these cell phones is zapping your sperms.
Yeah, it's like 40% of men under the age of 30. It happens.
I'm
not saying that it's happened to me. I'm just like solidarity with my brothers.
No, it happens to me. I'll be that guy. It's me.
In the marketing aspect of this business, and I'm talking about your business and our business and small media or independent media. It feels like the marketing money hasn't had the same ratio it should have in a world where, let's say...
You're talking like Super Bowl to podcast or Super Bowl to influencer?
Well,
like the
not
money
even Super
that's
Bowl.
being spent by Coca-Cola?
But local media and radio and stuff and let's just say a news station. A local news station in Kansas City, right? A company will pay... let's say $2,500 for a 30-second ad that gets played on a local Kansas City morning news that'll have, let's say, 7,800 people watch it, right? And then that's during the break, right? And it gets lost in 5 minutes of commercials, right? But that's like $2,400 or whatever.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is to reach a potential 7,400 people, which they have no whatsoever proof that is even actually, it's all based on
just a
arbitron,
projection,
projection, BS ratings. So maybe it's way less. I would assume that it's probably half or less.
Well, there's
than
no
half.
way to know.
There's no way to know. But it's saying the marketing money though still gets there, and it's way more than you have millions of people. So if you're talking about that equation, then they should come to you and pay you $10,000 for product placement or something like that. It should be so much more.
I understand what you're saying.
So
but these businesses, these corporations will lowball quote unquote influencers because they know most of us are just kids that have never had to deal with this before. We'll accept the lowball because it's money. You take it, but I've only done one sponsored ad in the almost 2 years that I've been doing this. I've gotten a lot of requests to do them, but I've told them all to go away because they've all been just terrible offers and I don't care about their money. I'm doing well enough on my own to not need sponsorship money. So I am brutally honest to these companies. I had Hinge, the dating app, offered me $700 to do everything. I write, film, edit, and post on my own thing in support of Hinge. And I said, I'll do it for $25,000. They came back and said, we can offer you $1,300. And I said, that's insulting. Never contact me again.
I want to write that one day, but I want to write it to my wife.
It is insulting because you're I live in the same world where if you went to local Kansas City morning news and asked for this, they charge you $2,500.
It's happening right in our town.
For a 30-second spot that you'd have to produce themselves and just hey, pay us $2,500.
I mean, so these are real world numbers, Ben. That's insane, dude. $700. They wanted you to do the soup to nuts, the whole package.
But and then put it out to 3 million people.
That's not even
no.
Yeah, but that's not even just not even putting it out. Take social media and throw it in the garbage. Just doing the video, writing, producing, getting all the props, whatever you need, filming, editing, and then polishing it up at the end. That's more work than $700.
Yeah,
that's insane.
I have to explain it that way to a lot of younger guys out there, or just people who didn't have any business experience before getting into this. Because I did stand up for years before I did social media, so I kind of had a little bit of that business background. But I have to explain to kids how much do you think companies spend on advertising, to make a commercial? And they're like, oh, lots and lots of money, tens of thousands of dollars. I'm like, great, yes, you're making the commercial by yourself. Charge that company what you think that company would pay for a commercial, because that's what you're doing.
But we're conditioned to not do that. We're conditioned to say, and basically, so your answer, where it be correct, they just go to the next Ben and
Try to find it, yeah.
until they find an influencer on down the tier. Now, it's not going to be as good as Ben. We know that. It's not going to be as well thought out. It's not going to be
as
planned.
well produced.
Not going to be as well produced. This guy's been doing it for years and years and years and years, has all the reps. But they'll still get it, and it'll be for $700. And
They'll get what they paid for.
Right.
And I'm fine watching that business burn to the ground because they refuse to pay somebody what they're worth. And now they have the worst ad team in U.S. history. Right. They just have the worst people making the worst ads possible. And they're still spending money on it. Yeah, it's pennies on the dollar for these companies, but they're still spending actual income on just a product that is going to have zero ROI.
Yeah,
right.
I really think, Ben, this goes to every social media influencer, including us, that has an audience. Like, if we just hold our audience and maybe 1 year, 5 years, or whatever, there will be a point where the audience that you have is worth 10 times as much as it is now because businesses,
organized.
Well, businesses are start realizing, well, I'm going to just advertise and spend the same amount of money or even less money than I would have and reach more people with an individual influencer and do it correctly and then stop with the local news station or the local radio station or the billboard or the ad in the newspaper. Companies still do ads in the newspaper and they're like $1,500. Like, it's insane because it's all based on antiquated and old numbers.
It's crazy expensive.
But
man.
I just have a feeling, Ben, that if you hold steady, that in 5 years' time, you'll be a multimillionaire just because of your audience size. And then people will start paying you $25,000 per commercial. And
if I had it, I'd pay you $25,000 to plug our show. I don't have it, but
thanks, Dan. I'll take your money.
I mean, I could see the value in it, though. Like right here, I was sitting there thinking about how good it would be if I had one of these companies that if I owned, let's say, New Era for sporting hats.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're my guy because you cover all the states.
And I wear
and he wears a lot of hats. Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And
I have over 100 hats that I wear.
You should be sponsored by New Era, and they would make. And because they make a lot of money. There's no way that hat that I buy is $55. No. I know it's not.
Right.
Well, I definitely take the money New Era spends on print ads and then give it to Ben.
And they do.
And that is happening. The transition will happen.
It is happening. Man, I love talking to you because you give us you're one of the few influencers that we talk to. And again, this isn't shade, but you're very open. You're super candid about this was the company. This is what they wanted to give me because it gives those of us because we are in it, but not really on the social side. We have a product, we put it out, and our product is better devoured as a podcast or a YouTube video. It's really, but when we get to talk to you and you start giving us real examples, I think it helps our audience understand. It also helps us understand how hard it is and how hard you work.
Yeah. I'm very open about all of this stuff because I don't want people. I really don't want most people to just watch what I do and be like, oh, that kid is lazy and dumb and he puts out stuff. There's a lot of thought and time and effort that goes into it. Yeah. And a lot of the time there's not an equal monetary kickback to the amount of time and effort and energy you put in. And I want to be very open and honest about that stuff. Anytime someone asks me about the money that I make from this stuff, I just tell them I'm not hiding any of it. Yeah. I make enough to have moved to LA.
Yeah.
But I'm not buying a Tesla anytime soon.
Yeah. You will, though, Ben.
Okay. You will.
This is the last question, I promise. What's your thoughts on the Island Boys?
That's a good. No, that's
because it's interesting.
Hey, they're hanging out with Supreme Patty last night. I saw that.
It's a different type of entertainment. Now, obviously, they're insanely popular, but we were joking around, they did it some Miami club owner hired them.
New Era's got them
to show up, and then they're doing their Island Boys song, and people are just standing there what the hell is happening? It did not translate to live, obviously, and so they have this huge audience.
They're more studio musicians,
and there's an element of people on social media there we call sideshow acts.
Yeah, it's cringe porn.
It's you're watching.
That's a really good description, actually, because I think the more internet term for it would be they're just memes. They are just memes at this point. They've done their one thing of just we are the Island Boys. and everyone is going to be singing.
Wait
that
a minute,
at
you
3
should
a.m.
do
when
that.
they're doing the dishes.
You should start doing that like it's never been done before, and just start doing it and ruin your entire career.
Guys, I just had this idea for a new rap, and I want to lay it down on the track right quick. We are the island boys.
I do like the song. I love the melody. I really do.
So catchy.
I'm gonna give it like an island boy. I'm gonna give it like an island boy. I'm gonna give it like, and then
we're just trying to make it.
Yeah, and he's like, I got my vest on.
But they're just a meme right now. They're super popular right now, and it's not because of just like some otherworldly talent. Yeah, they have the one song, but if you listen to the rest of the song don't make no sense. Like that, it's just that one line, that one melody that everybody really likes. It's funny. People think it's hilarious to even just look at these people. They are quintessential Florida boys. When you think about what just someone from Florida looks like, and you don't picture the Island Boys, you need to stop what you're doing and picture the Island Boys.
All
because
look
those people
like
exist all over the place.
People in Florida look like somebody spliced the end of a hot dog and grilled it.
Ben, how are they making money? Like, this business. Like, I mean, because I look at it, I'm like, I know they're making appearance fees in Miami clubs and stuff, and maybe, but I don't see any of them touting any who's going to pay them to New Era. I mean, I don't
know.
It's going to be like local entertainment is going to keep these boys afloat for a long time, but that's if they didn't make a really bad deal with an agent or a manager of some sort, which honestly, given what they do and how they act and what's been going on in their other videos, because I did a deep dive. I was interested. I have ADHD. I fell down that rabbit hole. It really looks like somebody out there is just fully taking advantage of these kids, and they have no idea because they've never experienced anything like this. So they're just along for the ride. They're getting paid, sure, but whatever guy is getting them these deals is getting most of the money, which is just not how it works out. And they're just gonna disappear. Just like everything else on the internet, there's an expiration date. Unless they put out another weird hit that comes out.
Now,
impossible.
Now, tell me what you think about this. I was thinking maybe they do. Now, remember, we were talking about Psy with Gangnam Style from let's say 5, 6, 7 years or whenever that was. Mm-hmm. Remember, before he had Gangnam Style, he did some pseudo-controversial anti-American music. I'm thinking Island Boys need to go anti-America. If they go anti-America,
they rewrite the Cuban national anthem and they just start talking.
If they just do a little something, they got to get the controversy.
Ben, thanks so much for talking to us. We got to go, but again, theimprovorlando.com. Tonight, you're going to be there.
Yeah, get your tickets. Go see them.
We appreciate it. Hopefully we'll have you in studio. Next time you're in town.
Let us know if you're in town or when and if you're ever in town.
I'm in town right now, right?
I know.
Damn it.
Hey, well, then we're doing it. But we set up a Zoom.
Hold on. I'll fix it. I'm going to take it like an island bye. All fixed.
Hey, man, we're just trying to make it.
Yeah, I got my vest on.
All right, Ben, we'll talk to you later.
Look, I froze him.
All right.
We freaked out at the ending. I love a good freak out ending.
What? Bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. The fish are doing great.
Yep.
Courtesy of Top Shelf Aquatics. If you need some fish, they got them.
Also, we have new merch, and speaking of that new merch, all the orders for a while will get a free Mo DeWitt keychain in their order.
That's the keychain music. Right?
Yeah. I was getting this ready. I was getting that.
Mo DeWitt, our lawyer's here. How you doing, Mo?
Hey, doing well. How are you guys doing?
Good. I saw that you did an event at Fun Spot. I saw it was successful. How
looks like a pretty fun spot.
How was that?
Yeah.
That was great. I mean, we had a few hundred people come out and just had a free day at Fun Spot and enjoyed themselves. Got some merch, and Eric, the merch man, came out and ran the merch stuff for us and saw quite a few BDMs. So yeah, it was a good time.
I am a massive Merchman fan, but I'm also a massive Fun Spot fan.
Yeah.
When's the last time you've been to Fun Spot? It's awesome.
I went last year, and
it's a good time. If you're a dad, you get yourself one of those sizable. It's a boisterous beer. You get yourself a boisterous, I think it's like a 32 ouncer ice cold draft, and if the weather's good, which normally we live in Florida, it's pretty beautiful around here. It's a great little park, man. And the rides, the roller coasters are pretty darn fun.
White Lightning?
White Lightning
so fun.
That is a solid coaster, man.
It's an easy little like family outing. You know, it's not as much work as like the big theme parks.
Yeah.
But, you go there, you park right there, you
worry
walk
about
right
fast
in.
pass or any of that garbage.
Yeah.
You just go in there and have a good time.
Let's talk business, Mo. So
Our business?
Right down to
or-
business.
This guy has no time for rehashing coasters.
I often text Mo back and forth some business
do?
ideas. Yeah, well, yeah. And
You never text me back. I'll just get like, I'll be like, hey, what are you watching?
Who's seeing
Or, like,
those text messages?
I was like, how's it going? You know, or like, what are you doing this weekend?
well, that's a nonsense. So, like, how does that get me rich?
Yeah.
I am trying to talk to
I
another
vented a
successful
little bit to
businessman.
Sam last night. She didn't text me back, but I knew she read it.
You're talking
she's
about
a good human being.
Your
How's
Home Alone
working?
house and a bunch of nonsense that can't get me rich.
I got the Home Alone house Legos.
Oh, I
And
did see that one.
I put it
actually, yeah.
together, and then I ordered from Sweden the light kit. Tiny little LED lights. I'm supposed to do that tonight. My eyes are too bad. I don't think I can do it. It requires tweezers.
So that's what Daniel's emailing me. I want to email or text another businessman that
Well, he's an attorney. I feel like a lawyer.
Yeah, but he's an attorney, but also a businessman that knows marketing and
that he does.
And then I try to give him ideas that are horrible.
Well, he's got
Wait,
good
you try to
ideas.
give him marketing ideas?
You
Yeah,
should
I
be
know.
getting ideas from him for our company.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you giving him the dumb ideas you're using to destroy our company?
Well, it's like when you show up at like a white elephant Christmas party and you bring the worst prize, but you'll get a good one, a gift in return. You know, like you have to give something to be able to get the good stuff. That's what I'm doing because I'm hoping that I'll just then Mo will give us a good idea, and then I'll be like, yes, we got it. See what I'm saying?
I'm thinking of something like
I can't just ask for ideas. I
Interesting
I have to give him ideas. So he's like, well, he's giving me so many bad ideas. I'll give him one of my worst idea, which would be my best one.
Here's a confession I have. Back when I worked at the radio station full time, they did a white elephant one year. And when you're doing white elephant, it is difficult for me to keep a straight face when there's one person in the room that looks like a white elephant.
You're like, it's him.
I always want to make
I
a
know
joke.
who it is.
And they'll be
Can I
like,
win?
all right, let's do the white elephant. I'm like, is this a guessing game? I'm sorry. That's not funny.
So anyway, I gave Mo an idea that
Was it my white elephant joke? 'Cause it's a classic.
All right,
It's
good
a
one.
modern day classic.
that I've realized since I've given you the idea that this would be a horrible idea. I'm retracting
Oh
the
no!
idea.
They just renamed EJ in the chat room. They renamed him White Elephant. You know what? It worked. It's a Christmas miracle.
Mo laughed way too hard at that. That should be hurtful, EJ. If you heard that, I was like, Mo laughed legitimately hard.
Mo was like, that was like a good one.
It was that funny. Someone
Well,
compared
now
you
they
to
got to
a
do it.
white
You just snorted. Now they got to do it. Wait, I got a lawyer laugh and a snort. It's got to be done now. That's like a gavel slamming down. That's a case.
So anyway,
You just won the case, Mo.
I told Mo in a text. I was like, "Hey, I got an idea.
Is this something for you to win? Is one wheel?
No. I try to think of a lot of ways to do that, and Mo's too smart. Anyway, so my idea was, hey, you should pay some social media influencers that are hot right now, like the Island Boys. And then we'll do a show. Me and Daniel will host it, and then we'll bring them up on stage one by one, and then
Parade
they'll
of the Island. Yeah.
well, it'd be like,
Parade of the Island Boys.
I imagine the Island Boys are most expensive. Then we'll work our way down. We'll get Big Tim, some other people that we can
We're
get cheap.
going to rely on some of the ones we know.
Yeah. Like Ben Brainer's out. He's too expensive.
We got to get the Island Boys. We got to get Corey Feldman. We got to get Daddy Longneck, who just had a baby, by the way.
Yeah.
He has
okay.
a baby Longneck.
Gucci Berry.
Gucci Berry.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can get Daddy Wideneck.
Yeah.
He might be in jail, though. Wideneck was in jail for a little while.
Yeah, but he got out.
We can get Mike Busey. We can get Lil Jess. We can get Midget Mac.
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
allowed to say that. That's his name.
Yeah. And then all these influencers, and then parade them one by one, and a Hard Rock Live, and I'll be like, and
Hard Rock Live.
Yeah. Well, Mo can get the nicer,
I'll write the check check for Hard Rock Live. You don't care about the venue.
Well, that's what I'm doing here. I'm like, hey, you fit the bill, and then we'll get some notoriety.
So you just want like a blank check to waste most money buying weirdos?
My idea was
he wants to buy weirdos.
No offense by the weirdos.
No, I mean, like, I'm a weirdo. I'm just saying he wants to use your money to buy weirdos.
But then all these they're all like putting it up on their own social media, and if you add it all up, they've got millions of followers, and then like the people are tagging them in the crowd. They're like, "Look, what's happening!" And then it just creates a social media storm.
It's a buzz. They call that a buzz.
Yeah,
it's electric,
and it's like good marketing, and Just Call Mo. It's all brought to you by Just Call Mo. Like great marketing. Then I saw.
I completely forgot you wrote this idea, so you just put it back up.
Wait a minute, this is a real idea.
He really texted me this. I completely forgot about it.
You need to give me your number, and you did a week with Tom.
I'm not leave Mo alone.
Now you're gonna do a week with Dan. It's a lot. My chirping is a lot better. I'll be like, hey, look.
This is the middle of the night, by the way.
I never text after 6, and it'll be a text like, look at this roasted chicken I made.
Oh, beautiful.
Here's me and my daughter eating a candy cane. Look at my Lego house. It's very, it's very G-rated.
While I'm texting that, I think to myself, I hope he doesn't think I'm high, because I am. Anyway,
he knows.
So then we watched the Island Boys perform at some Miami
Wait, you
club.
and Mo did?
No.
I thought he drove over to your house. He's like, "Are you awake? Are you awake? Wake up! Wake up! Where's your laptop? You got to watch these guys. They're called Island Boys."
And I saw them perform, and I'm like, "Wow! I'm glad we dodged that bullet, because it is horrible and awkward."
Yeah,
and,
did you see it? Did you see what happened?
I saw like a brief clip of it.
Did you see? That could have been you, Mo.
Could have been.
That was almost you. That was almost you. He had the checkout. He had the feather pen ready to go.
Yeah. Then I imagine we're panicking. People are booing. You're yelling at us to get out there and save it. And we're like, we got nothing. We're worse than the Island Boys. we have less talent. We brought them on because we thought they.
At least they have talented hair. So, although one of the Island Boys, and this is just my personal opinion, he's dipped the tips of his. Are they dreadlocks? What are they?
Yeah,
I think they're dreadlocks.
Yeah, I guess you call them dreadlocks. We dipped the tip of his dreadlocks in red paint, and it sort of looks like you're wearing a tampon hat now. So that's just my word to the
Seth's scar.
Yeah, just word to the wise. That's good. That's good time. But the other one, I noticed, and they're twins. The other one, he left his alone. It was almost like one of them did it, and he's like, I'm not feeling the blood tips.
So all I'm saying is that you could erase that idea from your whiteboard inside your office, and I imagine all the ideas.
Yeah, they're all drawn there.
I'll pull the marketing team off of that one.
Yeah, self-photoshopped as an Island Boy.
Stop the negotiation with the Island Boys. It's garbage. It can't be shown at a live event. There's no translation whatsoever, and any of these freak shows, social media influencers, they can't do nothing.
I don't want it written anywhere that I negotiated with Island Boys. That sounds insane. That sounds insane.
Well, I'm sure it's some other guy that's her manager that's actually looks worse than the Island Boys, which is hard, and he is doing their business, which I've seen before, and I don't want to...
What if he's a dad? What if it's just like them, but it's a big fat version? Like Bam Margera.
Yeah.
You know how Bam Margera is becoming Phil Margera.
Yeah.
So when you see Bam now, he's all drunk with his... And you're like, oh, God, get some help, get some counseling, get some, medication, talk to somebody,
it's a
save
big
your life.
fat island man.
Yeah, what if he's like, Island Man?
That'd be awesome.
How much to dress Big Tim up like an Island Boy? Hey, baby, I'm Island Man.
I think that phase has already rushed through the internet and has gone on the other end.
There's already been an Island Man.
Because I came in here one day saying, like, we should do the Island Boy video.
There was a couple of little
Once Dan
people.
Cummins did it, I was like, oh, beat us to it.
There were two little people, they're brothers.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw them doing it, I was it's gone. And once you see somebody, it's worked its parody way down, and you're like, yeah, it's done.
Mo, how often have you seen that where someone's being managed by someone who probably doesn't have their best intentions, and then so...
It's like the opposite of my conservatorship, right? Like my wife has my best intentions.
Yeah, it's the best. Like if you have a great manager... That's the best thing that could happen to you, right?
Yeah.
Because they are doing stuff that you're not good at. You're good at the entertainment part, and the manager's handling the business, and that's the key to success. But there's a lot of people that get a hold of the Island Boys, and even like I remember when the blue collar Facebook comedy tour with the Ginger Billy and other guys or whatever.
Yeah, Catfish Cool.
Catfish Cool. These guys are like
they came in here.
Catfish Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. Catfish Kool-Aid.
Whatever it is.
Catfish Kool-Aid.
and then so
Catfish Kool-Aid, let me see you Tootsie Roll.
these guys had like hundreds of thousands of followers and like a ridiculous following. Everybody watched their videos and they couldn't figure out how to monetize it. So some like whoever the best at business that was around their, area or friendship circle or whatever.
Well, that was a better time. That you're talking right around 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
Where all we needed to be famous on the internet was like a pseudo muscly fat guy with a bottle of Fireball, and he's going to drink it, the whole bottle, and then give you a lecture about how you should just love everybody, man. I don't get mad if they're black. I don't get mad if they're gay. I love everybody. Fireball all the way down. This is going to make your day. And then I'd look at that. I'd be like, yeah, look at this guy. He's doing it.
He's giving you inspirational. He's like people are like lighters. This one's been left out in the grass.
Catfish Kool-Aid.
And he's like, you need help. Everybody needs a helping hand. It's like, what the hell am I watching? Catfish Kool-Aid? Why are you giving me inspirational life advice?
I'm like, why are you this happy? You live in a trailer, and I know you smell. I can look at you and know you smell.
And then I'm like, oh no, it's got 8 million views. We're doomed. We're doomed. My sons are doomed. We're doomed. And then we might as well be burned alive.
Well, it used to be that you got your poignant phrases from like poet laureates like Maya Angelou, but now we're getting a video from Catfish Kool-Aid out of a trailer. He's drinking Fireball.
I wonder if there's going to be a way to like have like AI manage your career in the future, like have a computer program do it, right? Because you
automate it.
Like, I mean, it makes sense that like I guess it's too complicated to do that, but maybe in the future, like you just hand it over to your cell phone and like they'll make the correct decisions for you.
They have versions of this now.
Right?
Like for instance, on Spotify, if you want to run ads, it's all automated now. Like you submit no, there's no human. I mean, it's literally you submit it. They even tell you that. They're like, there's no human looking at this.
Yeah. Anyway, have you seen people get screwed over, Mo?
I mean, we've had some people who are professional athletes who have come to us afterwards who have had a manager have mismanaged things or something along those lines. And usually we're seeing them for something else or something unrelated to that.
Gotcha.
But we've had an NBA player before who got some bad financial advice, and actually a very famous cricket player who his manager stole a bunch of money from him. So,
really?
Yeah, it happens.
How much cricket manager?
Yeah, the people cricket's huge in like India and stuff.
Dude, they just rolled out a new Cricket 22 Xbox Series X video game. And I'm looking at it, it's like $80. I'm like, my God, I was like, this is an investment. And I go there, I'm watching the highlights of it, and it's just like you would have like Madden, but it's cricket.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's
cool. Huge in other countries.
Yeah.
It's got 400 million followers in cricket. You're like, oh my God.
Well, England and India, right? Aren't they massive cricket people?
Yeah,
like in India, there you go. There's your cricket.
All right, Mo, we got one legal question for you.
Down to business.
Now down to real business.
Yeah.
So what gambling question do you have this week?
This is about an island man.
It's worse than gambling.
So what do we got, Samantha?
The one that you had me write down.
Yeah,
that you wanted to ask?
we want you to say it so we don't sound as bad.
I forgot it. It was all the Island Boy talk.
Can Tom and Dan get disabled parking passes?
Oh, this is embarrassing.
Well, we already have one.
Well, it's not issued to you, though.
No, but it's the one my mom gave me, and I feel like I would just tell the police officer she wanted me to have this.
I think it was...
She did. She gave it to me.
Right.
She's like, keep this in your car so when you're driving me around...
Yeah. We could use it. My pop-up, he would give me. He got one. He was mad that he got it. By the way, but when he was on dialysis, they gave him one, and then
I don't need this.
Yeah, he was mad that they.
I don't need this.
But I convinced him.
Take me to Wendy's.
I convinced him like, well, we'll use it when we go to dialysis.
We'll use it at the nudie. I'll take you to the nudie bar.
So. The question, I know you're not an expert in handicap parking.
You don't know that. You don't know that. What if he is? What if he's certified?
But is it just some internet form you fill out, like your service animal or whatever, or do they require some actual doctor's note.
Yeah, are they
or
going to
something.
look? Because I've used it everywhere. I've used it at Disney. I've used it.
Is it like getting your medical marijuana card?
No, I've used it with
Where
my
everybody-
mom. Okay, I have not used it just me. I do not have a disability.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm able-bodied, so I do not use it now.
But you're allowed to if you have a disabled passenger, to
Yes.
use the disabled pass. But for yourself, like, is anybody checking? Like, obviously, we're not going to actually fill it out. But I imagine people do that, similar to the service animal thing,
Sure.
where it's like they just want parking. They're horrible POSs.
I know for a fact that there was a person that I know who was not disabled, who was just achy and grumpy, who went to Disney and used one of those hover rounds.
The lark
because
app.
you know this person.
Yeah.
Because this person is just a grumpy person, and they didn't want to walk around. They got a little bit of knee pain. Okay, little baby, and they decided that they needed the hover round.
Or remember the dude went to the Bahamas scuba diving with? He
used a
requested the wheelchair in the Bahamas airport.
People do weird stuff.
Yeah,
man.
because others like they'll push you around if they can't ask you why. And I'm like, well, why would you admit that to me? Like,
This
you're
person
admitting you're a
also
horrible
admitted to
person.
us that he was in the Invictus Games. Isn't that the handicap military games?
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't he in that?
He was ripped, and he's
Yeah.
like, I beat everybody.
He's like, I beat everybody. I'm like, what's your disability? He's like, I got anxiety. I'm like, well, I got anxiety. I'm not handicapped because of it. I'm damn close, but
Yeah, you're right.
No, I'm serious. This is a true story, Mo.
Yeah, he blew the doors off everybody.
He's like, I set new world records in the Paralympics. I'm like, Paralympics, you do.
Because he's swimming against people with one arm.
It's a true story.
Of course
So
you
wrong.
are.
It's a true story.
Yeah. What was his name? I forgot.
He had
a great name.
He had a great name. It was like Scipio. He was Italian.
There was just one name. Anyway, so
Yes.
do you know, Mo? How can you get it?
Raggio. It was Raggio.
Raggio.
I got it. My memory's fixed, Sam. My memory's fixed. It's back, baby.
I can't believe
it was
you
old
Raggio.
Raggio. Old Raggio. And he was scuba diving with us. After he told us he set all these Olympic records and everything, he used so much air because he was the worst scuba diver you'd ever meet. He would swim. He'd swim down, and then the instructor would go and grab his regulator and look at how
Zero.
much he was on zero oxygen. He's like,
100 foot deep, and he was swimming with no fins.
he was screwing around.
know what he's
He
doing.
would like chase the wildlife.
I think he just paid to get a certificate that said he was certified, but it was just like something in Miami he got. Like there's some guy in Miami just giving you scuba certificate.
It was like a COVID card in the NFL.
yeah. It was that.
Yeah.
So he had no idea what he was doing, and he was down there. And he had me convinced to take steroids, by the way. He's like,
Don't tell Mo that.
he was eating 8 breakfasts a day.
He was ripped. He was
But he's like,
ripped.
I have 4,800 calories of eggs. I'm like, my God. He's like, we're going to rip
He
that.
got in
I'm like,
trouble.
you're ripped.
The first time
Steroids work.
The first time we went down, he got in trouble for chasing wildlife, like chasing a sea turtle or something, like chasing after trying to grab onto
He
it.
was hitting
He was hitting coral or something.
one of those fish that like camouflage themselves in a coral, like you turn a bunch of colors. He was hitting it with his fin that he took off underwater.
Sounds like a lovely individual.
Well, anyway, he
Sorry,
he
Mo.
he did.
How do you get a handicap?
I mean, from a legal perspective, I don't really know. I thought that a doctor or a nurse had to sign off on it, and if you're using someone else's, obviously that's illegal.
But if a cop, okay,
can
so,
it be a marijuana doctor because they'll sign anything? We've learned
So I
that.
hear.
The guy that was listening to my heart would have signed anything for me.
I had my doctor sign my rolling papers. I was like, sign these. You're a hero.
JustCallMo.com. If you're injured on the go, just call Mo. What one piece of advice to be serious for a second? I feel
I don't know if I can.
I feel every
After
time
that
you leave, you're like,
Raggio
I'm
story.
wasting my GD money with these guys.
After that Raggio story, I just want to find Raggio.
I know, interview him.
I want to bring him in again. This guy's hilarious.
He's on the run for
He's
sure.
Gotta be.
When you get in a car accident, we tell everybody, give you a call to know what to do. But when you're there on the scene, and immediately you shouldn't be. Should you call someone immediately? Should you give it
call the police, get an accident report. That's the first thing. And I know it's a pain sometimes, but
What if the person is leaving the scene?
call the police and take a picture of the
you
license
stay
plate.
there,
Yeah,
though.
you stay there. Take a picture of the license plate if you can.
So don't
And
chase
take a picture
after
of
him.
them.
Like
Don't chase
people
after
have been
them.
doing that lately. Don't do that.
No,
That'll get you into stickier situations.
exactly. But yeah, take pictures of everything. Call the police. If you're injured, go see a doctor. Go to the hospital. Whatever you need to do, and then contact an attorney.
Perfect. Because the more evidence will always help you. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, because we have to recreate the accident scene in a lot of cases. So the more pictures you have, the easier our job becomes.
Perfect. Mo, thanks so much again for everything.
It's always a pleasure seeing you, man. Are we going to see him before the holiday?
I think this is because we only have one more week of recording, which we're putting ourselves through.
This is a rough one.
The gauntlet. So I think we won't see it till next year. So have a good holiday.
Well, now we're going to go around the room and everybody say one thing they really like about Mo.
How's Elizabeth doing?
She's good. She just got back from Colombia.
Oh, awesome.
How about you don't ask about people that it's not your family anymore.
No, she guys consider her family.
Yeah, that ship has sailed.
That
ship is good day. That's what I do. I'd be like, she has no bit.
Pretends like he cares.
Elizabeth has respectfully asked me to decline all you asking about how she's doing. Good day, sir. That's what I do. I slam the door in your face.
All right. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more Corporate Time.